Australia add the Under-19 World Cup to their current trophy cabinet with yet another win in a final against India. Is this the most successful era of Australian cricket ever? Do trophy cabinets really exist? What's it like to talk to a woman? Is cricket ever cool? We dig deeper to find out more. Glenn Maxwell does his thing again with his fourth Australian 100 in 9 innings across formats. Australia has now won that series, and SHAMAR Joseph has won himself an IPL contract, proving that dreams really do come true, as it's always been Ricky Ponting's dream to coach in Washington. Dreams did come true for 7 South African debutants in New Zealand who managed to find the middle of Kane Williamson's bat as he scored his 30th and 31st centuries for the Kiwis. Such nice guys, amazing cricketers. Are there skeletons in the closet? It's injuries deluxe in the India-England Test Series. Does England have a sniff here? How good is golf? Performer, actor, writer, and 1/3 of one of the most successful Australian comedy acts of all time, Auntie Donna, Broden Kelly, joins the show to discuss Times Square billboards, real estate agents, accidentally liking cricket, and how good Harley Reid is going to be for newspaper sales this year. There's probably some other irreverent dumb shit too, because, you know, it's cricket. To that end, hashtag AskTGC questions as to why some bloke is shadow bowling in the gym. Pezza, some people think not much going on this week. Wrong. There's plenty going on. It's still the middle of summer. Today in Melbourne, it's 1,000,000 degrees. So that must mean cricket's here. Summer's about to start. The cricket's on. Are you having a good time with the cricket?
Fucking oath I am, bruh.
That's not how you
most
talk.
importantly, a lot of reaction to the chat we were having last week vis-a-vis club cricket and various incidences.
Can't that be? Not that one.
No, not that. No, there was a reaction. A lot of people got in touch privately about wanting to get that falsetto voice approach going.
Okay, right.
No, I'm referring to, there was a couple of different incidents. One in particular from grade cricket. We're talking about your mate McElduff.
Yep.
Who played a sort of Fraser McGurk shot over, I'm going to say square, maybe it's in front of square.
After the ball was thrown into the keeper.
Yeah, and the allegation being, and this is watching purely via Frogbox, that the ball had been thrown too many times. You know, the ball just kept getting thrown.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so there's a bit of feedback on this.
Yeah, well, a lot of people writing in, and people who are involved in the game, people who are sort of peripheral to the game, with, you know, wanting
Game
to...
adjacent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a couple of players. One writing about McElduff, saying best contact he made all day.
Nice.
You know,
well done.
Great cricket.
Yeah.
Someone else wrote in saying would have loved to have give you some insights into what was being said, right? And I'm thinking,
ooh, titillate me.
The invitation was extended. Please do, and it didn't come. It was explained. I reckon 3 out of 4 words were fuck or cunt. Like 3 out of 4.
Okay.
Which I think is actually really, yeah, and that this person went on to say, no English being spoken, just expletives with no context.
Okay.
Now, I think this is good because I've been concerned for some time about the tempering of aggression in young men generally when it comes to club and or grade cricket. This concerning trend of awareness, thoughtfulness, you know, being concerned with oneself and your own conduct rather than kind of wild expression of your own frustrations in your life taken out on the field, which in turn has created dynastic Australian cricket teams. So it's nice to hear that with this incident in particular, that there's some unfettered aggression going on that doesn't seem to make much sense. In fact, it's completely out of context. The context here, I presume, is referring to their lives. So I just want to encourage more of these things. Like if let's say there's a new segment just called Overheard. Okay. You know, like just send us, like I don't want war and peace.
No, we don't need war and peace.
But just send us in things you're hearing on the field. Less so the BBC style stuff.
Of like, you know, best sledges.
Send his bales to Wales.
Right.
Kind of gear.
Got it.
Like let us, no, not best sledges.
Yeah, best sledges without swearing was the thing last week.
Let us, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just let us know things that are being said. You would have seen Higgins last week, just, you know, if we could stay in the club cricket train for a second.
Yeah.
Bit of discussion about the new scoring system in Australia. Well, it's been there for a couple of years. Play HQ.
There was some discourse, yeah. Which
Sorry,
course
you're referring, where's that?
Yeah. Discourse.
In Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So a little bit of conversation in the media bubbling up about Play HQ. Now, for background, for those who don't play club cricket in Australia,
Wow.
Play HQ is the online platform that is the house for all the statistics of a game of cricket, live and historic. It was formerly My Cricket.
Yes, this one superseded My Cricket.
Superseded.
Yes.
My Cricket, and there's been a little bit of print press, radio press, essentially collating a lot of frustration from people about this. In Roy Masters' piece last week.
How's the piece on it?
Indeed. One of the quotes from a volunteer was that it's imperiled over a century of statistical knowledge.
Right.
You know what I mean? So people are essentially saying that Play HQ isn't working as well as My Cricket did, and it's frustrating people. Yeah. And look, far be it from us to say that we've done any kind of investigation into this. Anecdotally, a lot of people do seem to say that.
Everyone that I've spoken to that still plays it and uses it says it's dog shit. Yeah. And like when I've tried to use it, I feel like I am internet savvy.
You feel like you are, yeah.
Internet savvy Blanc. And I don't know how to use it, nor can I access anything. And so, am I dumb? Am I dumb?
Well, I just want to ask a question that's potentially vulnerable. In what capacity do you use it?
Oh no, sometimes I accidentally so I get sent links and I click them and I just end up looking at
what sort of things are you looking up?
Like a fourth grade round 16 game against a bottom ranked team, etc. That I happen to be playing in and made 35 off 72. Dropped twice.
Tim Crawford's been batting well for Gordon this year. He's for that's your old club. How's Tim going today?
Yeah.
He made the two. Yeah.
Is he gonna play for New South Wales? That means that I play for New South Wales. Yeah.
That sort of stuff.
That sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, imperiled over a century of statistical knowledge, like the destruction of the Library of Alexandria. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it is true. That is what cricket statistics are to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Can I just read out a question that someone wrote in during the week?
I would encourage that.
Thank you. If you were encouraging, but you may not be.
If I were.
I would encourage that. This is from Tom. He wanted to be semi-anonymous.
And are those linked?
Because he's writing about somebody here, and you'll see from the prose itself. But there's some elements are protected, and there's a little carrot dangle. There's a little bit of tip of the penis shown in this.
Got it.
Anyway.
Yep.
Tom says, guys, I think I've stumbled upon cricket's biggest snake.
Okay.
And for anyone who has lent so much as half an ear to any of your podcasts over the past few years will know, my wife included in this, cricket is filled with some of the rarest and unique individuals who reside in the Commonwealth. Cricket is notoriously a place for the petty, sad, grim loners of society. Each week we take the field with an assortment of individuals who wouldn't look out of place at a Dealing with Autism summit. Okay. However, what we've uncovered tops even the most grimmest of units. I've sat next to, listening to how they made an impressive 24 ball, 45. Okay, yeah, blah blah blah. We play a level of cricket that's below Premier cricket. I won't say where it is, but certainly far above the wheelie bin shit you probably get from most of your riders in. Now, firstly, to be clear, anything below grade cricket will be regarded as wheelie bin shit, rightly or wrongly, mainly wrongly.
I assume,
but him trying to crowbar that this is actually pretty good.
Yeah,
he's come to the wrong place fundamentally.
All the best with you in your future endeavours, but
right.
I assume that you have a solo bin for stumps.
It's each week. It's is it the green bin this week or the yellow?
I'm going to assume that it's tip and run.
Down here they call it tippity run.
I can't. I'm not.
You can't deal with that.
No.
Is the bin? Hey Tom, is the bin you deal with half full from green waste? Anyway, Tom goes on. This isn't relevant to the story at all, but I just knew at some point. Blah blah blah. Yeah. One of our young guys is planning a summer abroad in England to play cricket next year. As part of this experience, he's required to put together his stats from the past few years on My Cricket. Because there's still some archive My Cricket stuff around. Anyway, so they can allocate him a club or some shit. Anyway, as we all know, cricketers are some of the most selfish creatures known to man. It'll be a cold day in hell before we forget. Yeah. Unfortunately for this guy, when he logged on to collate his previous year's statistics, many of his runs had disappeared. Not all of them were completely gone, but his 4 to 5 notable scores had all been diminished to single-figure scores. Upon some further examination of the scorecards, he was astonished to see one of his teammates had all of a sudden made a few more runs than he initially remembered. A further deep dive resulted in him and us at the club learning that this guy who's made more runs now averaged 305 over the previous 2 seasons at the club. The player who had somehow acquired all of these runs came to our club several summers ago. And didn't we think we'd struck gold? Despite bowling off 14 metres in the nest with a two-piece and making full use of the 15 degrees, he seemed like a lovely guy and quickly made an instant impression on everyone. He would help everyone out on match day, offer to drive young guys a game, blah, 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 blah. And he'd upload all of the previous scores on MyCricket.
Got it.
Given the awards season in question were all legitimately awarded, it seems his absolute coat has gone back into MyCricket recently to amend the 2020-21 statistics for his own benefit. I've attached a scorecard for your own benefit. I haven't looked at them. Some of our highlights include him making 101 out of 152 and somewhat hilariously allocating 25 runs to a guy who literally averages less than 2. People down the order have batted, despite he and other batsmen who made the runs remaining not out. Averaging 305, so he averaged 305 in third grade for a club that didn't win many matches that season. He took runs off players but didn't adjust their boundary tallies. E.g., a guy has made 2 runs despite hitting 2 fours. We had a scorer like that, but he was a drunk. Steering us home from 7 for 20 by making 101 and not hitting one boundary for the entire innings.
Oh, he just ground them out. Yeah. Come on.
We also note that he's taken all of his runs from the young players in his team, which is strange considering I'd imagine they spend more time in MyCricket than the older guys. Not since Enron have we seen a more fraudulent presentation of results. Is this the biggest snake you've come across? Then he goes on to name the business this guy's runs, etc., which I probably won't read out. Claims to have been a professional cricketer at some point. Of course, that's consistent. Yeah. Does this belong in the fiction section? Now, look, I'm only raising that because this is another example you're hearing about guys obviously just having a fantastic time hacking in online and just fucking around with numbers. They're DJing their own numbers to feel good.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm just saying, like, this is MyCricket. We've moved to Play HQ. Statistics matter to people. It seems like it's Wild West out there now. You know, some guys aren't going to get a gig in England because they can't arrange 5 scores on MyCricket because someone's hacked in.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of analogous to what's happening in the world, post-truth, etc.
Sure.
Do you think this is a good thing that people can go back to a kind of opportunities to lie if you have skills in coding, etc.?
You know, I think many people like to just have a second life. Of course, there's the literal software program Second Life, where people live the life that they want to live.
The umpires that gives you not out.
That there was no appeal. Yeah. So you know, because we all have fantasies in our head.
I love Second Life.
Sometimes we go to bed and we play movies that we're in our heads.
Yeah.
And we dream for bigger possibilities. What if things were like this? Would I be happier then? Because now cricket statistics is a perfect way to live that life that you've always wanted to live. Maybe if I scored 75, would I have a girlfriend? The answer, of course, is no. But what if? You know, and what if is the big question. Now, cricket statistics is basically second life, is what I'm saying. So I'm all for it.
That feeling when you get off the ground after a decent innings, and you go and peer over the octogenarian volunteer scorers, well-manicured manual scorebook. Now they have to have someone who puts it into Play SQ as well. And you have a number next to your name, just 2 like numerals.
Yeah.
It's not 3.
In sequential.
Yeah, it's And like,
but first of all, you asked how many overs this guy got left.
How many overs?
Yeah.
How long is it to go?
How many leg buys is
the better one is how many overs does X have left? Because it just takes a little longer to figure that out if it's a limited overs fixture or something like that. Or
also, it signifies that you are interested in the status of the game because this guy's been buying quite well. So how many overs has this guy got left?
But that feeling of like a credible number next to your name, like you see your name, your ancestry, you know, and then you move across and you see the number next to your name. Yeah. Forget about who got you out, etc.
Doesn't matter.
Like that is one of the purest experiences that a human can have. So I understand, like this guy thinks that I'm about to go to town on the fraud. Yeah. The fraud has just manifested his destiny. You know, he's just hacked in and just started fucking with numbers and going, I average 305 now. Yeah. And he's just looking at it on a screen.
So he's made a mistake in the same way that often, like when fraudulent bank transactions happen, they start small and they start getting away with it and they start going for bigger and bigger numbers.
That's right. I'll take 1 cent from everyone's account.
Right. Now, I mean, that's obviously how I did it. But once you reveal publicly that you were averaging 305, there's going to be a couple of questions.
Yeah, but perhaps this guy, the fraud, has appreciated that they've actually migrated to a new system, so fewer people are going back to MyCricket. And he can say, if you're knocking around my cricket, you're possibly, earning the attention of the Australian Federal Police yourself. So are you really going to ask me questions about what's going on?
Got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Now,
I'm just wondering about this Play HQ migration and whether people aren't focusing enough on the opportunities. Now, there are suggestions that it costs clubs a lot of money. It costs a lot of time. It's actually a drain on resources when people are just trying to be part of a community.
Sure.
They're all valid things to present. But I'm just wondering whether there are opportunities for fraudulence in this Wild West.
Okay, what about this?
Can we get crypto involved?
What about if you're on $1 a run, all of a sudden you go back and retrospective payments need to be processed because, I actually scored 10,000 runs that year. Don't you remember the year that we had? Sure, we finished 16th. Yeah. That's by the by. Where's me cash?
Yeah, Steve Waugh scored 10,000 runs. That's how many I scored in a year.
I had one Indian summer,
I don't remember that. No, look at it. It's funny.
No, look.
I mean, it's actually amazing this hasn't come up sooner in cricket. Like the internet has allowed for like the broadening and curation of identity beyond what one's IRL identity might be. Like, why aren't there programs out there where you can literally just input the stats you want? You know what I mean? Like, and you can just look at it and just feel great. Like, S. Perry.
But that's
30.
What like PlayStation's for, where you can create your own character.
Yeah.
And I'm in the Hall of Fame in 3 years of the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So moved around a bit, play for the Knicks, play for the Lakers, Celtics. Got different haircuts.
Move around a bit. Anyway, that's I'm just saying, Play HQ, there might be opportunities.
How many Champions Leagues have you won? Heaps. On FIFA. Live the life you want. Escapism.
Something to think about.
Do you want to talk about the Under-19 World Cup or do you want to talk about the T20s first? Because I'm just thinking about, like, with the Under-19 World Cup, obviously these guys are all playing great cricket. None of them bowled to bins. And there's a lot, you were just talking about, the sounds of great cricket, right? And I'm looking at the celebrations of the Australians who won the final against India by 79 runs, undefeated in the tournament, the first Under-19 World Cup win since 2010, when Mitch Marsh and Josh Hazlewood were in it. So in the final, Australia 7 for 253, India all out 174. The sounds of the dressing room.
Yes, like this.
Real good yahooing.
Yeah.
Out the back, out the back on the surf,
Oh, out the back of the surf, yeah,
Shuckers kind of vibe, boys, fucking come on. Like, it was very Australiana. I related to it.
That's the thing with youth, it's unkempt, unbridled. It's still raw.
Unbridled.
It hasn't been finessed yet.
Yes.
Cannot
be bridled. So, and the haircuts are as you'd expect.
Yeah, rude.
It's a rude haircut, but it's also just it's manicured to be rude.
Yeah.
It's that sort of private school mullet which goes around here in obviously Victoria.
I see. Yeah.
There's a little bit of that, but I'm sick for I really enjoy just a messy haircut, which will not be there in sort of 4 to 5 to 6 years time, But this is
so you're talking aesthetics, really.
This is their time. I'm talking about aesthetics now. Obviously, Australia winning World Cup, all good.
They won. Yeah.
Now look, this tournament.
We got out of bed. I had to admit, I could eat. I ate something from the fridge. Went back to sleep. It's another World Cup.
I saw the one, the semi-final against Pakistan, where inside edge could have been bowled. We ran down for 4. All good.
Yeah, the entire social media representation of that was sadness, except in one corner of the country, of the world.
Yeah.
What are we upset about?
India-Pakistan final was on the cards.
Yeah, that's right. You can just see producers melting down, losing their jobs.
All good. I'll catch the 5-minute highlights on YouTube. Shortest highlights of the tournament, actually, apparently.
Very interesting. I was watching a lot of highlights of this tournament, and then Australia beats India in
the final.
And just really short.
It was the shortest one of the entire tournament.
Yeah. I've not seen a lot knocking around.
No, I haven't seen much public. Yeah.
ICC or whatever. It's very quiet across social media once again. Don't know.
Anyway, the boys are celebrating, represent themselves finally. The Indian guys as well, but obviously you talk about the winners. They were just having a fucking great time.
Yeah.
But the sounds and the cadence of it.
Yep.
Very relatable. Very relatable. I enjoyed it. I was like, these guys got future. These guys got future.
And I was like, these guys got future. I speak for job. I wonder if the under-19s guys, because it's been more professionalised as well. I like looking through the old photos of under-19s players.
Wee-oh, wee-oh, wee-oh. Here they come.
We must. Yeah, they keep knocking on the door. No, and you see, like, you know, it was the class of 2002. Which was my class at school. These guys are like a year older than me. The old World Cup. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
And it's like you're looking at it like pock-faced.
Yeah.
Sean Marsh.
Yeah.
Dan Christian. Mark Cosgrove. You know, like and each of them pregnant with promise. You know, of their careers.
I think one of them actually was pregnant.
That's such an unnecessary drive-by. But and then you go to 2010, and you're looking at. 02, GB, you know, George Bailey.
Right,
there's
okay.
Bo Casson.
Yeah, right.
And I think. And then 2010, you've got Hoff, Zorba, Bison, you know, Kane Richardson. And do they all think like all this is this is like file footage for when we actually become professional cricket, like when we become great, like, and where they just look, they've got more of a coat hanger style shoulders. Yep. Because they're still growing into their bodies. Their faces haven't developed the smoothness of skin or a coarseness of skin, I should say, like commensurate with being an adult. There's still a little bit of acne knocking around. They're going to say things that are ruder and unbridled, and that'll be laughed at later when they win an Allen Border medal, for example.
Well, how many times have we seen the footage of, you know, Kane Williamson, Steve Smith and Virat Kohli all in the same class?
Yeah. So isn't that funny? They weren't fully formed faces.
Yeah, it was before Kohli got hot, you know?
Yeah.
You saw the baby face.
Yeah. Well, he worked out how to use a beard to get a vector going.
Exactly right.
To shape it up a bit.
So you're right. I mean, this is file footage of like look what they looked like when they were babies.
And it's novel, you know, like it's a novelty to it. And you look at players like there's Harry Dixon, Sam Constas, he's the next big thing.
Yeah.
New South Wales had six players in that side, so New South Wales cricket is back.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of crowbarring their own like visions of what the future could be.
Yeah.
What this person might deliver us later. When I walk into a room, sniff outwardly, not inwardly, hopefully, and you know, Harry Dixon's made 70.
Now, of the squad of, say, 15, 7 of these guys will be working at KPMG in a couple of years' time.
Okay, wow.
Two will be
Cricket's moving up.
Two will be working...
is this rugby or cricket?
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Cricket, rugby's fucking on the board of KPMG.
That's where they picked the Wallabies from.
Yeah. Anyway, so Australia won. Yep, woke up. Do we want a World Cup? Yeah, want one. Not as many highlights. Harry Dixon 40, Harj Singh 50.
Yep.
They've, you know, like I like this Australian team. I don't know much about it other than like I turned it on. There's the colours. We win. Everyone's been like, you know, yipping and yahooing.
Yep.
There's a guy called the Monster Truck.
Yep.
They're talking about the cartel.
Yep.
Heaps of good stories. Harj Singh, Punjabi Sikh, the face of Australian cricket changing a little bit. I'm happy to go.
Yep. So I've said this before, but you think about what Australia has at the moment, and we're so blasé about the achievements of what Australian cricket, men's, women's, and the kids have won, and it's
Which is our right.
Yeah. If any other nation, any other team that plays cricket had the current silverware, shall we say?
You mean the things you compete for to win?
It would be everywhere. I mean, so under 19 World Cup, which is really going to become like a big thing because of India winning it the last like 8 times in a row, whatever. Commonwealth Games gold medal for the women, T20 World Cup for the women, ODI World Cup for the women, World Test Championship for the men, ODI World Cup for the men. Held the Ashes for 10 years plus. So. Obviously, comments, have them on the board to give ASKTGC trophy. All good.
Give us a couple months.
But
maybe.
So, you know, if Australia somehow managed to win the T20 World Cup, well, then they will hold every major trophy possible. The women's under 19 World Cup, India has that. So, you know, I'm sort of picking and choosing there. Anyway,
but it's
they
good.
won fucking shitloads.
You expect India to win this because we hear a lot about the production line now. The production line's so good.
Yeah.
You know, it's efficient. You're picking them off the production line. You could have 6 teams. But there was a trophy on offer. Australia was there.
I didn't watch it, but
I saw some.
Just caught the highlights.
I've just read.
Yeah. Wasn't much more longer than TikTok, the highlights, but
yeah. Wasn't that funny?
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about the Australian men's side against the West Indies. They've won the T20 series. Well, they're 2-0 up in the series. So the last game is tomorrow. Australia last night in Adelaide scored 241 and West Indies 207. So Glenn Maxwell hit 120 red off 55 last night. And then we'll talk about the Jared Abood, no appeal, et cetera, run it a little bit.
But arguably should have led with it, but anyway. My fault.
Glenn Maxwell, 120. As I said in the top, fourth 100 in 9 innings for Australia. That would go back to the World Cup as well. But that is a hell of a run of form. But you're watching it last night, and it was just couldn't bowl. Just couldn't bowl to him. Couldn't bowl to him.
Oh, mate, when Maxwell catches like NBA Jam fire, it's unstoppable. Is there anyone like less stoppable? Is that right? Than Maxwell when it's going?
Heinrich Klaassen's been good recently.
I haven't seen it.
He was in the World Cup.
Yeah, was he?
Yeah.
No, I know it's good.
Yeah. I mean, other guys are good. Other guys are good as well, yeah.
I want to talk about Jake Fraser McGurk in a second, but like the thing that you can't compete with Maxwell on is ceilings. Mm-hmm. It's this Klaassen ain't touching that ceiling. He isn't even close to the ceiling. Yeah. Stairway to heaven stuff, Maxwell. And just it's so satisfying. He arrived at that place last night where it was like, where's this one going to go?
Yeah.
I think it was a quote. I don't have it on me. When he's talking quite frankly after the game. He's like, I just sometimes feel like I get to this place where I can pick where I want to hit the boundary, so I can just maneuver the bowler into a place where I know what they're about to bowl and I know what boundary I'm going to hit from that. Yeah, I have that.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
I used to have that when my 6-year-old brother bowled to me. I was age 16. So he also noted that his parents were there, and there was some discussion about resting him for the game. And he said, "Oh, can I play? Like my parents are coming."
Right.
And
must be nice.
He said like, "Oh, they had a Barossa tour yesterday, so I think they would have been good." And Maxwell didn't go on that. I want to make one point. Been thinking this over. It's a half-thought point, but like I noticed, and I thought this would happen after he scored his 100. Like it made me look up the Afghanistan game, and the numbers from that it was 201 not off 128 balls. So this is faster clip, lower stakes, and a different format. But like he was doing that thing again last night where it was like, this is a fucking unbelievable. This is a joke. This is a joke, and it makes you think about what it could have been. Could we have had more? He's only delivered us 3 World Cups. Yeah. And one of the greatest innings of the format ever, if not the. But
the Afghanistan one it was so gripping because you knew every ball was going to be an event, but at no point did it look like getting out. There were literal chances in it, but
plus it was Forrest Gump polio years.
Well, exactly. At the end, it was funny. It was actually it was comedy. Anyway,
the way he contorts the bat, he bat's like flat-footed now. Feet barely move, just opens it up and just works his wrist.
I mean, the golf swing is unbelievable.
It's a joke. But and you just knew that, because of the venues at Adelaide, you're like, oh, okay, people are going to make a connection between his his episode at the 6 and Out gig followed by hospital and him doing well here. And right. I noted, one of the headlines was where is it here, Maxwell Masterclass atones for Adelaide misadventures. I was just thinking, it's very harsh. There was a lot of moralizing about his health, right. And judgment about the various decisions he likes to make, various decisions he has made and connections made between cricket he's missed and whatever. And I finally it's just a headline, but the idea of atonement, just really cold in the sense that it's like, we're just nothing if not transactional as fans. It's like you do what you like if you deliver runs for me,
Yeah.
We're not talking, we will not ask a question about his health anymore. It's like, well, if it's 120 or 55 rocks, do what you like. Yeah. That's 6 and Out.
I can light him up.
I just think that when people are asking these questions or making judgments about his health, that particular issue can be very complex with someone. Not that I have any fucking clue about Maxwell. But when it's kind of there's this sense of forgiveness or atonement because he's made runs, it just goes to show
I
how
forgive him now.
How performative and superficial all of that judgment and so-called pseudo concern is. Yeah. It's just man, you just fucking you get out in the middle and you dance, boy. Yeah. And whatever else you do, I don't care. And I will judge you. How does a player feel in that situation? It's like you only don't like me because I haven't gone and done the thing, or you're concerned about my health because I haven't done the thing that you want me to do, which is entertain you for a bit doing genius stuff.
Yeah.
But now I've atoned because I've made a great 100. I don't know. There's something a bit off about it to me. Good knock, but.
So, Australia need to 1 wicket. I mean, they're winning by plenty, and they won the game by, 34 runs in the end without bowling the West Indies out. So it wasn't close, but it was in the second last over or perhaps even the 17th over. It was somewhere towards the end. 1 wicket in hand. Was it Shamar Joseph hit the ball to Mitchell Marsh in the ring at cover. Marsh throws the ball to Spencer Johnson, who's at the bowler's end. Johnson gets to the ball, takes the bails, and there is... It's shown on the screen that Shamar Joseph is well out of his ground, but probably somewhere in the realm of, I don't know, we're looking at
Alzari
15.
Joseph.
Alzari Joseph.
Yeah.
Oh, Shamar Joseph. Playing, what am I talking about? Alzari Joseph. And he's about sort of 20 centimetres short of his ground. Now, Jared Bood, who is the standing umpire, then gets into a kerfuffle, I would say, with the Australian players because it was not sent up to the TV umpire because, as he said, there was no appeal. Then... once again, we get into this moment where, fuck me, cricket just lets itself down, doesn't it? With these fucking ridiculous, archaic, somewhat comedic rules, where it's like, yeah, but I can don't pick up the ball in the Under-19 World Cup because you can be out. You get fucking ejected from the game if you out of your crease at the bowler's end. I know we're changing our minds on that over the course of time with that. And then this one, just like, yeah, he's out. I can see it on the screen, but like no one said anything. But then Tim Davey comes in and said, no, Jared, I did appeal. What a game,
It's good. It's good.
What a game.
It's Westminster system stuff. Like that, you can't really complain about this incident without someone who understands the cricket is a game of laws.
Yeah.
With glasses over the top of, like it's on the bridge of their nose. Yeah. Well, if there's no appeal, then the judge or the magistrate or the arbiter, can I make a decision? That is fundamental to the game. It's also like. He's out, bud, isn't he? He's out. It was...
And I'm sure someone said something in the air. Did you need to say the words, how is that?
Just like my experience of it was that I didn't see the end of the game, so I woke up to it. And reading it, I was like, oh, this is going to be one of the best fucking penguin stories ever. This is going to be penguins being penguins.
Penguins saying the game's here for me.
Exactly. And and letting you know exactly how the laws work. And when I watched it, I was like, okay, I can see why this is a problem. Well, not why it's a problem, but why it was weird, because Spencer Johnson takes the stumps and it appears to me as though Spencer doesn't think it's out, so starts walking back to his mark, right? Yeah. So that's the camera angle you've got. Then you got players surrounding the umpire going, I appealed, but you couldn't really hear it. And like all sorts of shit may have gone on. If Jared Abood signals to the TV umpire, nobody says anything. And we're good to go. And it could be a case of umpiring just for the principle of what's happened.
If it happened and no one appealed, and then Jared Abood went for the third umpire, are the West Indies going to be like, but no one appealed?
Hopefully. And then you make correlations or comparisons with there are times when batters nick the ball and no one hears it and no one appeals. And you're like, wasn't that out?
I remember a Boxing Day Test match I was telling you before where Steve Orr was batting towards the end, and Steve Orr was apparently batting with a migraine. And it was like the end of Steve Orr where it started to look pretty bad. And I forget who was bowling, but it was against England. And he nicks a ball behind, no one appeals. And
how do you bat with a migraine?
And then the ball is then just passed back to the bowler, and then it's shown on the big screen. You can see a deviation, and then the game sort of stops, and it's like, wow, we didn't appeal. Now, apparently, you have until the ball is bowled for the next ball for the duration. You can appeal from any time from when the incident happens to when the next ball is bowled, apparently. So I don't know, mate.
I want to say more things about it. Jared Abood is going to be right in a court of law, and that's all that matters when this goes to court, and I hope it does.
Yes.
But the other, the drama of it, the narrative is so good for cricketers because firstly, the sense of righteousness from both parties who are poles apart just still couldn't be higher. Jared Abood, I am on the right side of the law. I'm the arbiter of the law. For the players,
I'm a penguin.
This guy's a penguin who wears a helmet. Firstly, you're wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
For very good reason. Jared Abood is on the right side of that too, vis-a-vis protection of the old cranium.
Yeah.
Right?
But it looks different.
But he's wearing a helmet. Yeah. He's a penguin. Yeah. And secondly, has anyone considered the umpire's perspective here, because players have long suspected that umpires would probably think about the Shangri-La for an umpire. Now, some umpires might say we just want a good game and the players to enjoy themselves and blah blah blah, and I'm able to use common sense when I want. But let's be fucking real about it. Like umpires being able to pick up on a basic. What's the word? Like somebody not applying the laws correctly and being able to tell everybody on live TV. That is the greatest orgasm an umpire can have. Can you imagine the fucking erection Jared Aboud had in that moment? Helmet on, Penguin Deluxe, 4 or 5 Aussies surrounding him saying, I appeal, and Jared just knowing fucking what law 37.1 or whatever the fuck it is this time. Just going like, sorry, guys. And this is starting to look bad. Same guy, by the way, who was fined for complaining about his son and a run-out decision and had to do 20 hours community service. I don't know if he was... Now, we've met Jared, lovely guy, etc. Cricket, etc.
Fundamentally, when you boil it right down, though, what umpires really want. What they really want...
Tell me what they want.
...is for a professional player to know their name.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they really want.
Always the way.
Hi, Pat.
Oh, my God. Hang on, let's go to the umpire's room, have a glass of milk and clean myself up.
What an umpire really wants is to be asked by one of the teams, probably the team that's won the game, to come into the dressing room for a glass of milk.
Mate, like the amount of peacocking and...
Cow's milk.
Yeah, of course. Full cream. Is this a full cream stuff? But yeah, do you remember I remember being in a lot of change rooms where, you'd get the anytime I hear
Soggy Sayo.
three, pardon?
Soggy Sayo.
Yeah.
Are we talking about something else?
Now, Soggy Sayo, if we're going to, let's go there. That's a game, isn't it, where 2 people compete to ejaculate onto a cracker.
Yeah.
And then whoever's last.
Yep.
Actually, as I get older, I realise it's probably better, but whoever's last has to eat the now...
Yeah.
The now... saturated cracker that has ejaculate on it.
That's right.
So what's that got to do with the umpires? Why'd you say that?
I don't remember.
I was talking about an umpire entering the room and you looked into distance and started saying Soggy Sayo. Where you have to eat the ejaculate on a cracker.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll allow it.
That's how many umpires meet.
No, just
you wash it down with a nice glass of milk, a tall glass of milk.
No, people who. No, that's another thing. We can go The Secret Life of Umpires. It's the spin-off series, The Secret Life of Us. One of the characters. Not many people saw it, but we'll get to that in a second. But before the day's play, and you get the.
Yeah.
It's like the fucking...
It's the police.
Someone starts running into the court, runs out of the room, fucking bursts out of the window. No, the umpire comes in and, on our way, boys. And, the captain at that point has to name them by first name. Thanks, Richard. Thanks, Rich.
Yeah.
Or we had Rod Tucker coming through. Won't go to that story, but thanks, Tuck. If you can get a fucking nickname going from a nickname level, you're getting at least 2 LBWs. Unless, if you scream in an old man's face, unless they're a state player. There's a lot going on in that situation.
Yeah.
Of course, you were referring before to what happens after play, where umpires complete the game and they do the captain's meeting, and then afterwards they strip down to underwear and socks and have a tall pint of cold full cream cow's milk, and they cheers. They clink glasses, cross arms, and drink a full pint of milk. Is that right? Oh, is this? Oh no! Oh no! He's gone. The Secret Life of Umpire. Jared might, yeah.
Fucking hell. Yeah.
Jared takes his helmet off it for that. He doesn't keep it on.
He used to have a straw, though, to go through the grill. And he'd be in white fronts.
Nothing but white fronts. And then they retire to the tubs. No, firstly, just to clarify, respect for umpires, irrespective of what was just said there, but like respect for umpires. It's just more what was good about what happened last night.
Yeah.
It was this Australian team has been very well behaved for a long time, and they're not going to ever get credit overseas for that. And fair enough. That's it's like we've been well behaved for like 2 seconds compared to the rest of the history. Yeah. So I get it.
Then a couple of decades. But
there was a slight. They weren't close enough to call it surrounding the umpire. And Jared warned them and said this is starting to get into like ugly territory or whatever word he used there. Yeah. But it's just look for an old dog like me. It was just nice to get a little flicker of like, the current team just having a little bit about him, like you could hear, I don't know if it was Tim David, don't mean to attribute to him. Someone said, this is a joke, Jared. And you're like, yes, a little bit of grade cricket seeping in.
It helped that they were winning the game comfortably. It had it been a close game, the game might not have resumed.
See, I wonder if like in that, how many times do you see players not necessarily appeal, but just start saying, celebrating.
Yeah.
So is that an appeal? Yeah.
What
is an appeal?
That's my point. Didn't at some point...
What if people are appealing internally?
When Spencer Johnson took the bails, someone on the ground has said, someone has said that.
Or even fans.
It's just a weird thing that the first thing he did was like to look around to see if anyone was appealing. Like he was looking for it.
Yeah. That's Penguin stuff.
That's Penguin stuff.
Yeah. And fair play, but it is also Penguin stuff. Like are we being real about this? We could get in trouble for disrespect to umpires, but it is like, that's pure Penguin.
Yeah. It's pure Penguin.
Pure Penguin stuff. But respect.
Sounds like a cologne.
Can I just say a few more things about the white ball series? Because last week we hadn't covered this. I don't know if you're going to go here, but just to finish off the ODI series, a couple of things happened.
Yeah. So when we recorded it, the game was that day.
Yeah, Canberra game.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. So, Australia win that game in 6 overs.
Yes.
Couple of things to point out. We got to see bareback Morris bowl a bit. I know he bowled in the first game as well. He was 2 for spit, and then he did a side or something.
Yes.
Marina Hyde. And but there was a moment where he clean bowled Teddy Bishop, and the commentators and everyone around were starting to coo over him, and there was a close-up shot of those wonderful green eyes of Lance Morris, and most of the prediction was that he was just talking about what a great ball it was. And if you really look closely and go back, if you're this way inclined, and there is support for the NDIS on this, but he says that was a half volley.
Yeah.
And again, more grade cricket stuff.
He has a very inquisitive look as who's keeping Inglis to be keeping. Yeah. And he runs down the wicket, Inglis being the first one there, and he's got this weird look on his face like, what just happened? He goes, and then he goes, that was a half volley.
Yeah. Which I like.
Very good.
Now, Jake Fraser McGurk.
Yep.
What I liked about this...
41 off 18.
41 off 18.
Inglis, by the way, was 35 off 16.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting. Not talking about that. Yeah. What I like about it, like our experience was that there's 3 of us, Charlie as well, and we watched it because we wanted to watch him and see what he would do, right? Yeah. And I left when he got out.
Yeah.
He's trying to hit every single ball for 6.
Yes.
Every single one.
Yep.
It's very, very novel. It's very novel to watch.
Also, Azari Joseph is legit bowling nearly 150.
Now, people have heard us talk about this before. We're part of Cricket et al., a cricket blog. Gideon Haig's written a piece this morning about the Warner effect and Jake Fraser McGurk.
Yeah.
And I'm going to paraphrase, and it really is none of his words, but he basically says, like, there's a lot of blokes saying that we should get Fraser McGurk into every single format, including Ricky Ponting.
Yeah.
And Gideon, politely makes the point that, like, basically no one has succeeded at all 3 formats. Maybe Warner close, but even he makes the point that he averaged 31 in his last 28 tests and hit 200s. Smith hasn't done it in all 3 formats. Not even Saywag was a good T20 player, Gideon was saying. Interesting. In fact, he said Saywag's best format was Test cricket.
Yeah.
And that Jake Fraser McGurk averages 20 across everything. But still, like, watching him it's extremely novel, and it's like raw it's like early band energy, you know, and like, you know, later on they're going to be finesse, they're going to be rounded, they're going to like have all the kinks and the rawness taken out of their game. But right now it's just sex and drugs and energy and just the fucking rawest, unbridled talent. Yeah. And it's very fun to watch. And you're going to look back and go, fuck, I love the early Fraser McGurk stuff. Do you remember when he tried to literally hit every ball for 6? It is fun to watch.
Warner hasn't been the player that he first came onto the scene of, especially with that innings against South Africa at the MCG, that first breakout innings, the T20 game. And then for like probably 7 or 8 years, he was just electric up the top. He hasn't been that player for 5 years probably. Yeah. Even in the 2019 World Cup in England, he hit 400 or 500 in that tournament, 1 run behind Rohit Sharma for leading run scorer.
But that was actualised.
He was criticised for batting too slowly.
Yeah.
And his strike rate has dipped significantly in Test cricket as well. Now, like, still think he's one of the all-time great players for Australia. But like, that rawness that we're seeing with Fraser McGurk, where it's just electricity, where it's probably even early Maxwell as well. I mean, Maxwell's sort of more actualised and just doing amazing things. But I know exactly what you mean. Like, but I mean, I wouldn't have watched or given a shit about that game at all. But Fraser McGurk was playing, and it was like, I'm watching this, and it was so, and you know. And he fucking smoked several sixes, and it was exciting and also funny at the same time.
Like there's a purity to imagining what it could be. You know what it what it might chisel into. Let's watch what it is now. Yeah. It's loose and extremely like I don't know. It's visceral to watch someone try to hit every single ball for 6 or 4. Like, but it's like like Gideon makes his point in the piece about like it's that, you know, it seems today cricketers are bought and sold and invested in more on what their ceiling could be rather than what they actually do. Like more of what it could be than what it is.
Yeah, right.
And you definitely read it, cricketourtale.substack.com. But Fraser McGurk is going to annoy the absolute shit out of so many people, which is kind of funny. And it's going to be great. But yeah, we also like this is TikTok. You know, you got to provoke, you got to feel straight away. That's what Fraser McGurk is. I'm for it. Otherwise, you're dead.
Shamar Joseph was not playing this game because he's been injured, but he was actually picked up by the Dubai Capitals, Pezza, in the IL-20. Now, he didn't play because of the broken toe or the fractured toe that he had from Stark in the Gabba Test match, but he has been picked up by LSG, the Lucknow Super Giants. He's going to replace Mark Wood, who's pulled out of the IPL because of Test and T20 World Cup commitments. So Shamar Joseph has played 2 T20 games and 0 wickets. IPL deal, 3 crore. I believe it was.
Interesting. Probably another one of like, what could the ceiling be?
What could it be? Yeah. Sometimes. I mean, Warner was the same as this. Like, you give him a shot in international level with like the lower, like the numbers at the lower level aren't particularly interesting, but then you see it, and you see it in like in a higher level, and it's like, no, this is definitely good enough.
Yeah.
So you get it into the system, and it's like, I mean, like the kind of shots that Fraser McGurk was playing. Just to go back to him. Oh no. Shamar Joseph, same thing. Like that performance, it doesn't matter what his record is below or that he hasn't had much experience. You see it and you're like, that's most definitely international standard.
If it can do that, what else can it do?
Exactly.
Can I make a point? Like this is some nonce stuff here, and it's half-formed thought. But like, what if, just with all of the existential questions about the game, what if like going into this white ball series against the West Indies, this had, like for the men's, it had been a multi-format series, and you know both teams enter into the white ball series at 4-4. You know, a lot of these games have been like exhibition games, and no one's been there. I just people don't. I don't know. Like I'm sure there's always 1,000 good reasons why an idea shouldn't work in cricket because it's not the way that it's done or whatever. I don't know. The women do it like this, but like, I just wondered, like, Australia's still bossing at deluxe, but if this Test series was at 4-4 or whatever, and then you go into the ODIs, which Australia would, if you use the women's point scoring system, 2 points, it would have been 6-0 or whatever. But like, you know, it may have been alive and had some context a little bit longer.
A bit more jeopardy.
I just wonder if like, if teams, you know, that's a way of incentivizing international cricket for people as well. It's just like, well, when you're a T20 player and you go and play in a big series and it's multi-format, you know, there's just a little bit more jeopardy, a little bit more riding on it. You know, I'm sure there's fucking reasons, you know, things that it fucks up as well. But
I like instinctively, it sounds like a good idea. I just think about, you know, of course, like the expectation heading into this summer was that Australia was not going to lose a session, and because it hasn't worked out that way, and we could have had even better summer of interesting games. Then you think about like, how would you heighten that sensation for fans, or even just teams being interested in it itself?
It's just more that like that we lament that there are 3 teams that can resource themselves for Test cricket, and like one way you could bring back the some context into it, and again it's a half-formed thought, but like the West Indies, who by the way have actually been pumped to oblivion in the white ball series by Australia, when white ball cricket is what they seem to play well, and players want to play.
I think they'll be super competitive in the World Cup.
But I'm just saying, like, Australia versus West Indies as a multi-format series becomes a little bit more competitive if you've got to actually be good across 3 different formats. That's what I'm saying, like kind of like a medley. Just like that. It's a lateral thinking way of of basically bringing the field back together, because there are some countries who are investing more and more in white ball cricket and could actually do some damage, just as the England women's team did to Australia in the Ashes. When they won a whole host of games towards the back end, and it ended up being even. So I don't know. Like, I don't really. Not really one for like, all you have to do to fix international cricket is this, because I'm sure there's
one weird trick.
Yeah, exactly. There's a litany of issues I'm sure it raises, but like West Indies would immediately become a more compelling proposition as a touring team if it wasn't just down to like how good are you at Test cricket, because so many of these countries can't afford it and don't want to put any money into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ricky Ponting's going to coach Washington in Major League Cricket. Major League Cricket starts 25 minutes after the World Cup final. Which starts 35 minutes before the end of the IPL. So, a bit going on. But yeah, so Washington is Washington Freedom is the franchise, is that we're calling them, team, club, that is the high performance is backed by Cricket New South Wales. And then Seattle's the Victorian cricket one, is that right?
No, they're
Seattle's
San Francisco.
San Fran, that's right. Anyway, so Greg Shipperd was the coach at Major League Cricket. People would know him from New South Wales
Washington,
cricket.
yeah.
Sorry, Washington. Yeah. And he was coaching in the inaugural season of Major League Cricket. But Ponting's going to replace him. So it's a big coup for Major League Cricket. Don't think it's necessarily like the biggest pickup of Major League Cricket. The teams have been fantastic. Like,
he's not coaching Big Bash, is he?
No, he wasn't. So,
I think there's a lot of cricketers who
shot in the arm for MLC.
He mentioned in his press conference that the big news line that came out of it was, his agreement or encouragement of those countries saying that the players should only be allowed to play in a certain number of tournaments as a way of protecting international cricket. So, like, it was I think it's a pretty amusing picture, like Ponting standing there in Washington Freedom kit.
Yeah.
Saying that there shouldn't be too many of these tournaments. And like, I don't understand, he's a great guy, punter, but like, I don't understand who's meant to, who enforces that? You just like, that'd just be restraint of trade, wouldn't it? So it's like who's meant to say like, so is that Cricket Australia saying to Cam Green, like you pick 3 tournaments? Like, again, it's just private money. That money will just go like, money will just kill.
The IPL owners own several different leagues and teams in different leagues across the world. So
it's just funny saying that in like the probably the most recent high profile competition to come in, going like, well, I don't think players should play that many. Like, how does Washington Freedom feel about that? It's like, I can't. Pretty keen, for them to play. Yeah. But anyway, like he's obviously he's a international cricket guy, Ricky Ponting. But there is this attitude I think out there in cricket that like, we've got to get these private franchises to march to the beat of international cricket's drum. And it's like, I'm sorry, unless there's collective will, there's it's the other way around. Like, how does international cricket fit in with it?
I haven't thought about this, but I'll just say it publicly. No one watches this anyway. With the Super League idea for football in the UK or European,
wonderful idea.
It was the will of the fans basically that prevented, like that made the owners of Liverpool, United, etc., to say like, fuck this is a bad idea, we're not getting behind this, and then they obviously backed out of it. Now, I think that'll be the end of it. Actually, I don't think they'll come back.
No, neither. That's all. That dead and buried.
Yeah, it's just a sad chapter closed.
Indeed, that's right.
So, I don't feel like fans of cricket, of the sport, have the same relationship to the game. Perhaps they do it in Asia especially, but like there's a unison there with the boards of international crickets to all come together and be like, you know what? No, this is actually wrong. It's like, I was reading a piece from Ferdos Moondale actually this morning about the SA20. It's been booming this year. Apparently 36% increase in viewership from last year. Most fans are over the age of 50 going to the games as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was fascinating. Yeah, so like, anyway, it's been going good. And obviously, like, they're playing this series in New Zealand and it hasn't, and that first test didn't go so well. So different countries need T20 cricket. So, like, how are you going to tell the West Indies to be like, nah, play more tests? Be like, why? It doesn't work for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so, like, you don't have
loses money.
unity. You don't have the unity with different boards across the world. So how are you going to talk to each other and be like, yeah, let's all come together? Because 3 of them have fucked it.
Anyway, Washington Freedom will go in to that tournament.
Yeah, well, they finished 3rd last year, so
okay.
Yeah, so they want to go one better.
They'll want to go one better.
The Australian Test squad for New Zealand.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the team and the 11 that's going to play, but here's some other names.
Who's mixing drinks?
Nisa, Boland, Renshaw. Those are the other 3 in the 14-man squad. No Lance Morris, side, and Richardson, Jai Richardson, obviously still injured from what he did in the Big Bash. So they'd be the only ones that would be in the rounds or at all.
This is
one spare batter.
Just like sort of going back to the ODI, to the T20 series and into this, like hard to look at Spencer Johnson, hard to look at it and not make the sound you've just made without me even prompting it. Like, it's just a very, jeez. You know, it looks very international cricket, doesn't it?
It does. That is a racehorse. Get this guy a fucking salt lick.
It is.
I want to stand next to him.
Yeah, get him a salt lick.
And put a bale of hay next to him, and I just want to stroke him and say, good boy. Good boy.
Is that objectifying a person?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing it too.
Yeah.
But it's hard not to have a look at him.
Look at him.
It's.
G'day, Spence.
I'm nearly 40. I did note. So anyway, I was just saying Spencer. He's got, like, you know.
Yeah.
He looked good. He looked good the other night. But and it's to me it looks more Test cricket than white ball.
So
he's not a man of tricks with the ball necessarily, but he's the wheels and the rhythm and the lengths. Even Howie said last night, it's a Test match length, isn't it? You're like, man,
go off, Howie.
And then he's not just talking about his bowling.
No, he's not. Mate, you've got Test match length there. So the Nisa's obviously back in the squad. That's the headline of the 14-man squad. Now,
the headline actually, this is from The Age. Sorry, Queensland seamer Michael Nisa has beaten off Australia's Generation Next Quicks for the Test tour of New Zealand.
What I wouldn't give.
Indeed.
So
Test match lengths.
You know, this is the thing. Is like, I'd love to see Boland again. Renshaw, is that something to look at? Maybe some runs there. Nisa, like, fully deserving. I want another great summer of domestic cricket for Michael Nisa, who's just probably an amazing bloke and
possibly
an
an all-rounder.
His runs for Queensland is, I'm not sure where he is in the runs, but he'd probably be up there. Just not going to play. Like, who do you drop? Who are you dropping? Who are you dropping from the Test side to get Nisa in? It's just one of these things like when the team's good and they've won fucking nearly everything, there are going to be really good players that can't get in. And I would like to see Nisa in the side, like, cause just for something new. What does that look like? Runs, fielding, bowling. That's good, but like, you're dropping a better player than him.
Oh, and make no mistake, like, in 2 or 3 years, when this team all goes at once and we become shit again, there'll be outrage, like, there'll be uproar. So let's look at it eyes wide open now. We're definitely borrowing against the future right now, but they've earned it. They're 6'5", Space Jam, a lot of wickets, hitting lengths, nipping it away, pace, lid. You know.
How old is Nisa?
I want to say early 30s.
Me too. I'm going to say 32.
Okay. Yeah.
33. Okay. So he'll be 34 in March.
Great cricketer.
Yeah.
I'm happy if he gets a gig though. Like you said in the office the other day, I hope you don't mind me saying, you said I'm ready for Nisa.
Yeah.
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 Is that okay?
It is, yeah. But it's just like I prefer, like, so he's an all-rounder, so I'm going to prefer to see Green and Marsh play because I just think they're better. But Nisa would play.
I'd like to see a Qantas sponsor on Nisa's top.
That's one of the best things
New
about
Zealand?
the Australian team playing away from home. I love the Qantas red on the Test jersey. It looks nice. It's neat. It's simple. It makes me. It warms the cockles of the heart.
Yep.
Make me think about home.
Can I say something about like touring New Zealand as well? And this is very niche and possibly wrong, especially as a red-green colourblind man.
Yeah.
But like a red Qantas on the playing top against New Zealand in Test match cricket, which starts earlier in Australia. So you're looking at a 9 a.m. first ball because it's 11 in New Zealand.
Yes.
One of the rare countries ahead of us time-wise.
Right.
That's an aesthetic. At that time of day, watching a bit of Test cricket, like 8 years ago, I can't remember what I was doing, but like I was able to watch a bit of stuff during the day.
Yep.
And I'm just saying it's nice. And if that's Michael Neser with a red Qantas coming into bowl, sort of hitting nagging lengths, challenging the off stump, hair flopping about a little bit, a beard.
Yep.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
That's me.
He's not going to play, but I'd like to see it. Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
There's a bit of the build-up's already started for the Test tour of New Zealand.
Well,
I noticed
they sold the first test out in 8 minutes.
Second day of the second test is sold out as well. Dress-up day at Hagley Oval.
Okay.
There in Christchurch.
Okay.
But and there wouldn't be many tickets left for the other day, so that's a Saturday. But I noticed Malcolm Conn today in Sydney Morning Herald saying, is basically talking up the Wagnerian issue that Steve Smith's going to have opening the batting. They're keeping Neil Wagner on ice, not playing against South Africa, not playing in the T20s. South Africa expected him to play, and they're just keeping Wagner on ice for, they think, Smith.
Okay.
Just saying, a bit of build-up there. They're holding Daryl Mitchell back as well.
I would imagine
this is going to be big for New Zealand.
New Zealand would want to win this series more than any other. Would I be right in saying that? Now, this is the problem now. Like, I don't think I've ever met someone that doesn't love New Zealanders in Australia. Yet,
let's hold it. Yeah, I don't want to pull punches too early on this. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna I think this could be a big series. I think this could.
I think it's gonna be a great series.
It's going to sneak up on Australia. Which is just, it speaks to the character dynamics of Australia and New Zealand. The expectation
is going to be that Australia win 2-0, and I just don't. New Zealand's good.
Kane Williamson, he's just made his 31st Test ton,
right?
At a quicker clip than Smith.
Same as Smith apparently.
Oh, is it
5 less than Sachin? Yeah.
Fewer innings?
Fewer. No, I think it's 170 each.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, so he's good.
He can play.
South Africa 3s.
Oh.
At best.
But yeah, no, like New Zealand looms, and it's going to be good. There's a bit to there's going to be a bit to unpack.
It was a great pleasure to have Broden Kelly in the studio. Obviously, one of the 3 of the great comedy trio Auntie Donna, amongst other things he's done. Acting work and even his new podcast, The Footy with Broden Kelly. And it was
worth a listen.
It was great to have him in the studio. And you know what? Here he is right now. This will be the X's and O's cricket chat.
Love it.
Yeah. You're right.
The Under-19 World Cup happened overnight.
I actually did hear about it because I listened to SEN on the way in, and someone's grandmother was called in to SEN saying that their grandson was 43 not out of 46 balls or something like that, and it was fantastic. But they beat India, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it was India. I've just guessed India. So
yeah,
that's good.
Do you want to go into a soft open here? Because I want to ask Broden about.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
There was I was on your Instagram this morning, and you've called AFL Trade Radio in 2020, and you wanted to ask, you asked the boys, could North package up a couple of trades? First of all, with that. Second of all, have you heard any rumblings outside of the club? If anyone's going to be watching Auntie Donna's Netflix special,
It was 2020. I was in COVID, not allowed to leave the house, and we made a show in the US for Netflix, with Ed Helms of The Hangover and The Office fame, global show.
Yeah.
And we were stuck in our Melbourne houses promoting it, and I'd been doing press all around the world, but whilst I was doing interviews with American, TV and British publications, I had Trade Radio on, NAB Trade Radio, all day. So I had one ear listening to, where's Ben Brown from North going to go? And then my brother's like, you should just call in and try and promote the show. I was like, it's a good point. Yeah. And so I rang in, and it was Damien Barrett, who is just the AFL journalist, and then a bunch of just list managers who know, and then it was all 55-year-olds, and I think that they were full straight bet. Well, I don't know about that, but yes, I think North will get some picks back. It was, but then that was the most. I think that was the start of me talking about football.
Yeah,
but Yes, they have actually barred my number on SEN now.
Really?
So like they know it's me when I'm calling now. So if I call in like, what do you want? Yeah.
Oh man, that nexus between like talkback radio and then, you know, being in one of the like best comedy outfits in Australia, covering like a whole bunch of different subject matter.
Yeah.
Like that's a narrow kind of nexus. You know what I mean?
We to a fault. We made the show in America and it was this huge show, but we made a point of making it the most Melbourne centric show ever. So there's references to places like Car City Ringwood in the show, and there's a character in the show that I just named Gary Lyon.
Yeah.
And the way like the Netflix executives had heaps of notes, but I think they went along with a lot of it because they thought it was just fictional absurdism. They're like, oh, Car City Ringwood's just something you've made up. I'm like, yeah, that's just a joke. Yeah. No, or we'd say like in Australia that will kill, but the truth is no one here knows about any of that shit either. And Gary Lyon never saw it or cared, so there was no point.
Yeah. With your current podcast, The Footy, Broden Kelly, how do you find comedy in AFL? Because like Pez and I have talked for a long time and say like it's so serious. Like the footy is so serious,
earnest, and solemn.
Yeah. I think football fans, well, I think more so cricket fans seem to be a more thoughtful group, or at least cricket seems to attract more interesting people. Like we have pretty straight bat journalists. Comedy in AFL is usually just the same footage from like 1994 shown over and over again. I remember when Stephen Silvani did this, but you have personalities like Gideon Haigh, who is the most like, even not deliberately, the funniest man on earth. Just this beautiful, verbose person. And then like Jared Waitley and the like, you know, English cricket is such a funny, interesting world. But AFL is I think it's more primal, it's more immediate, it's happened, it's over in 3 hours, it's more it's less thoughtful as a whole. So I started the pod because I was like, it's everything's quite aggressive, and AFL media has learnt that if you're negative or you talk about the big clubs, then there's going to be a lot of engagement. And I've learnt that recently as well. If you talk about Collingwood, you're going to get numbers. But like, there's a lot of people who just like footy or they like cricket, and it's not their number one thing, it's their second or third thing, but they like to hear it, but they don't like to take it seriously, and they're happy to leave it at the door. And so that and we've found that that's the case. People are really engaging with it, and it's really I decided, I don't know if you guys do this, but I decided to talk about footy through the whole off season of AFL, and that really was really hard. Because there's nothing to talk about, and you start having to find a way to how do I generate conversation every week, but no, we're coming up to actually being able to talk about it again. Yeah.
It's funny because like with cricket, it feels like cricket's pastime in Australia, you know, and it's linked to like our summer holidays, like breaks from school, and of course celebrating Christianity, and the Lunar New Year's.
Yes.
But like cricket, it's hard because like a test match might start on a Thursday, and it's like, when does that finish? Well, it depends how the game's going.
Exactly.
It's hard to, you don't have a routine. Whereas footy, it's like it's now on Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
It's
Sunday.
Appointment viewing.
It's appointment
you build your life
viewing,
around it.
But it's also like it's linked with families. Like you change clubs outside of your family, so it's linked to like who you are and where you're from, kind of thing. Whereas Australia cricket, it's like you're walking in and out of rooms and you're sort of keeping an eye on it, and you like some players.
It's fundamentally like core different. But I worked at the MCG from when I was 18 in the Melbourne Cricket Club. And man, I got a story. That's where I know most of my cricket stuff. So my granddad worked there for 50 years, worked on the long room doors, and then I worked there when I was 18. So I was telling like 60-year-old pissheads, like, "Oh, mate, water's in between them," and
a few octaves lower as well.
And that's where I got my low voice. Yeah, go on, mate. Oh, out of the,
it's a great voice, by the way.
Get off the glass, mate. The old mates want to watch the over. But for the
you're 18.
Jesus, what is happening? And that's where I first saw the Marleybone ties, like all these guys coming in, just flashing them around, like, look how good I am. Look at this, like, I flew down for this. I'm so good. The weirdest sports fans in the world, by the way, is the ones who come and watch 5 days of cricket and get there at 9 a.m. and leave. There was like, some characters. But for the first few years, I wasn't a massive cricket fan. Like, I hadn't ever really gotten into it. But my job for the Boxing Day test every year was to stand on the front of the long room doors and just watch cricket. That was my job. And if anyone came up looking for this seat, go, oh, there it is. And so I learnt by about day 3 of the first year, like, I have to force myself to like this sport, or I'm going to actually do my nut.
Yeah.
It was 14-hour days.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think the first year was maybe, do you remember when South Africa won here?
Yeah.
In 2008 or 9?
Yeah.
That was the first test that I did. And I remember all I would ask people as they walked past was, do you reckon this will go for 4 days? Or do you reckon, and then we're like, oh, hopefully it goes for 5. And I'm like, no, hopefully it goes for 2. Like, I remember and actively wanting like Australian wickets to fall so we'd move quicker.
Yeah.
But, and then I don't even know how it happened, just by it soaking in. Like I do, like how when you're a young person you don't like wine, and then you get older and you like wine. All of a sudden, I started to see it. I started the Matrix kind of. The language started to become clear, and I remember like watching cricket matches like a year later and really loving it. And then when I stopped working there, going to games and really appreciating it.
Yeah,
there was people as well. Footy fans are a certain type of thing, but then the breed who come in for the cricket season are just so different. There's a lot of, what I remember was a lot of like men by themselves with nice sandwiches they'd packed, and sandals, a lot more sandals, backpacks, and then the in-ears. And it just, you could just see.
Yeah.
You know how you see someone and you just see they're in pure bliss?
Yeah.
You don't get that at the footy. Just someone who is like in true happy, like, and I think if the breeze is going there and it's a nice, high 20s degrees and it's a nice game, it really is one of the nicest places, one of the most zen places to be in Melbourne, I think, during the cricket.
That's amazing. Like, firstly, if you are just tuning in, Broden Kelly from Auntie Donna and the Footy podcast, a prolific man. You're across a couple and also a regular caller into SEN.
Yeah, that's my number one passion.
Yeah.
And then the other
that's where I recognise you from.
But one of the great comedy outfits in Australia at the moment. I was listening to like an old pod of yours building up to this, and you guys were talking about how, like, as you guys are coming through the ranks with Auntie Donna, you were going to like Edinburgh Fringe Festival, like we're talking like 2012, 2013, playing to like 3 people and all that sort of shit. You guys are now like, world renowned. You just come back from a world tour, right? I'm just wondering, I'm thinking, what are the crossovers here with grade cricket? And it'd have to be like coming through the ranks, you were fucking nothing, and now you're something. Like, do heaps of people want to riff with you all the time? You just get people coming, going, oh, I'm fucking Broden Kelly now.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, I think usually when people meet me, because I do heightened comedy. Yeah. Like we do character. We went to acting school. I'm a full actor.
Yeah.
Like
you balance the stage, Shakespeare shit.
When I left uni, all I wanted to be was a Shakespeare actor and do Richard III and Macbeth. I was like, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm never going to do screen acting. Like I was delusional. And then we walked out and no one would hire us. And so we're like, fuck, what do we do? And then we're like, there's this comedy festival in Melbourne. Maybe we write a comedy play and put that on, and maybe people will come see it. And in the year previous to that, I'd done a play by Harold Pinter called The Dumbwaiter, which was a subtle conversation about relationships and I couldn't convince my parents to come, let alone anyone else. And then when we did Comedy Festival, people wanted to come, and then we learnt to write comedy, and the first year we did it, we got nominated for an award. So when you're like 22 years old and no one has ever given you validation or said that you're good, we're like, well, let's just keep doing this until something cracks. So we kept doing it. It became our job like 6 years in. But the main point was we were like, there was clearly an audience hungry for something a bit different and alternative comedy in Australia and stuff. So when people do meet me now, they come up and go, oh, Broden, how you go? And think I'm this big heightened thing, which is mainly based on my days working at the MCC, working with all ex-cops and talking like that. And then when I'm like, hi, how you going? They're kind of disappointed, to be honest, because it's
always the way, hey?
But yes, no, like, it's I'm very lucky that people tend to like me. Or what I've thought about recently is, because people, like everyone, there's people who hate what you do and there's people who love what you do, and usually you only meet the people who like what you do.
You never hear from the haters, really, except the YouTube comments.
I've gotten curious recently about like who recognizes me and goes, I fucking hate that guy. And as I'm walking
Real estate
past-
agents, I'm guessing.
Yeah, real estate agent. Well, I had to. I bought my first house last year.
Oh, congrats.
Doing comedy.
Must be nice.
Yeah, and ringing SEN, and I ended up having to get a buyer advocate to represent me because I kept going into open houses and they'd be like, hi mate, and I know you. The guy, we did a video last year where it was essentially, like realestate.com.au, when you go into an open house, they've started doing, real estate agents have started doing this thing where they're the star of the house, where they stand out the front, usually with a fucking drone or a steady cam.
Yeah.
And they're like, welcome to this house. It's so exciting. I'm John. Let's go through it. And then they're like, it's like they're fucking auditioning for, I don't know, Better Homes and Gardens or some shit. So and it's really clever comedy what we did. We just went, it's just that, but they finish every sentence with I'm a cunt.
Yeah.
And it's really
clever.
It's really
it's
clever,
very
cerebral.
clever. Yeah.
But it resonated like nothing else in a while, where people are like, yes, I do hate real estate agents. They're a cunt. What's fantastic about them is they are you make a point to never punch down in comedy, or like try not to punch down in comedy, and there's not many people that you can unanimously make fun of and it's okay. They are the perfect ones. Everyone hates them. They're punching up because they say how rich they are, but then we have a line in it where we're like, I know a lot of real estate agents will be watching this and thinking, I'm not a cunt, but I know a lot of cunts. I'm like, that's true, but you are also a cunt. And despite saying that in the video, a lot of people are going, yep, that's, I do work with a lot of people like that. So it's good. No, it's, but yes, they are cunts.
Yeah. I reckon I've watched that video 800 times.
Oh, good. Thank you. Oh, that's you. You're the numbers.
Yeah, I'm the guy. Do people like yell stuff out to you in the street? I mean, you guys have done so many amazing different sketches and like world tours and everything. But like, but I would imagine Christmas Pud is the one. And so are people just walking up to you? Because people like come up to us in the street and we'll just yell out "boys," which is an old Brendan Julian story about us. And it's quite jarring because they don't just walk up and say "boys"; they yell it to you. And you're walking on the street, and it's very jarring.
Not quite as late as Pud, you know what I mean? Just boys. Here we are,
That's right. But are you getting put in the streets?
Yeah, 100. I went to. We did the Footy Pod did a music festival on Saturday. Have you done a festival before?
No, never. How did the Footy Pod do a music festival? Like, what's the?
I was horrified. I was like, what the fuck is going to happen?
Yeah.
And it turned out to be fine. It was just a lot of gacked people just sitting in the shade. And they'd occasionally notice that, like, disposal efficiency for Hawthorn this year will be interesting. like, where am I? So it was okay. There were nice, happy, gacked people. But it was just that was 2 days of 25-year-olds walking up and saying "pud" to me. It's funny.
And is that what they just say "pud"?
Do you want a bit of pud? A bit of pud, mate. Pud,
room for pud.
Room for pud.
If someone's driving past, they got one chance at one sound. Is it just pud?
I think the speed of, usually because I'm the least. I look the most respectfully normal out of the three Donna guys. Like Zach has long hair. He looks like a Dave Grohl looking guy, and Mark has a big beard. You notice them immediately. I look like you, Pez.
I think you do. I think the rig's going well.
Oh, that's why we look the same.
Yeah.
And
well, you're a model. We'll talk about that in a second.
So I'm the triple taker. Like I'm like, is that Broden? And by the time I've walked past, I'm gone. So I've slipped. I look like a lot of people walking around Melbourne. So I've slipped into anonymity, which is lovely because I don't get put that much unless I'm in a very, very prominent position. But yeah.
Is it like are you at the stage in your career where it can be mildly irritating? Like I've got much more work and a greater portfolio behind me than Pud. To be reduced,
but also play Wonderwall. Like,
exactly. Like we have look, zero comparison, by the way, TGC and Auntie Donna.
No,
like there's a lot of champ stuff. There's like, how are you, champ? Like, awesome. Cheers.
There's definitely points where it's annoying. But to be honest, I love it, man. Like the fact that anyone ever says anything nice about you, I like is so I really like it to the point where like I'm addicted to it now. Like if I go a few days when I walk down and so no one's noticed me, I'm like, well, what do we have to re-upload Pud or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But the funny thing about Pud, right, is we've worked so hard on so many things. Like the budget for our ABC show last year was like something like $3 million. And Netflix shows something similar. Like,
wow.
And sometimes you write a sketch and you think about it for months and months and put it out.
Right.
The Pud sketch was like, Zach was like, he liked how in England they don't say pudding for dessert. They go, and for pud, you will have this, which is a weird fucked thing to say. And it's weird for English people in received pronunciation to say pud. Yeah. So it was literally that. And then he wrote dot points. We shot it in like 15 minutes, put it out with no... And that's the one that
was a thing, yeah.
People are like, I'm naming my son Pud. So there's a part of it. We're as amazed by it as anyone else. So we try to make as much fun of how successful it is as possible. Like on our poster for our world tour, we had like Netflix series, and then like they did Pud. It's like, that's the thing. So no, I quite. How do you feel? Like, do you feel okay about it? Obviously, there's certain demographics who make it harder to, like, if you like go into a pub, and I imagine that's where you get most of your recognition. Yeah. Like a confident guy in a pub with the arm around the shoulder, big strong guy. That's hard.
Heavy.
Yeah. And they're on the sauce. Like that is hard, but you know, if it's all well intentioned, it's all pretty good.
It's like it's awesome, extremely flattering to be recognised at all. But when someone starts talking about their third grade stats from 1999, it's like, well, I am interested to a degree, but
exactly. Yeah.
And how did you guys go on the semi?
Yeah. I don't get a lot of the cricket stats coming up to me, so
fair enough.
But it would be nice.
It'd be weird if they did it to you.
If you listen to this and then see me, I would love to talk cricket with you.
We used to have like when it was really just a Twitter account, and we had initially we were anonymous, and then we released our names when we wrote a book. Then a lot of like cricketers who were better than us at cricket would often corner us or get in touch with suggestions for like pithy tweets.
Yeah.
And there was no correlation between their cricket skill and the comedy that sat underneath it. But like, you know, the insight being that, you know, if you're better at cricket than someone else, you're also better at all other aspects of life.
Yeah.
So you'd often have to receive a lot of people's like, you know, comedy advice. Like, I'll just do this one. I'll tweet this out. This will be gold.
Who's the funniest cricketer, do you think, off the top of your heads?
Like, in terms of comedic chops, like, I think karaoke's very good.
Okay.
And has and he actually writes comedy and stuff like that. There's some naturally funny guys.
That Marsh speech the other day was
like Mitch Marsh.
In the current team, he'd be the funniest, I think, Mitch Marsh.
Yeah.
Stoinis is funny. Stoinis is funny.
Stoinis. Different types, you know, like Zampa's funny as well.
Yep. Can I ask you a question? Because you just talked about breaking through. You were part of the Twitter. There was a period where, and I'm calling it Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because Dwayne Russell the other day on SCN, he kept saying, "Now you're on X, and you're on X, and you take X, and you're a drug addict." Like, it felt like he was saying, like, X is a hard thing to say. But you were I know Titus O'Reilly and AFL is a similar thing where you built your profile by these one line thing. That movement's kind of gone now. But what was it like coming through that? Like,
well, I didn't like. It's funny because Twitter, I suppose, to us, like, Twitter has always been because TGC was birthed there, it always has felt like you've felt like a closer connection to it, even though it's completely different to what it is now.
Yeah.
But the way it worked was like we'd just chuck tweets out there, and then we'd start to get like DMs from people that were like, "Oh, we know that person," you know, and like some of them were good, but then we sort of got. We're like, oh, let's see if we can do it in a book, you know. And we got over 100. What was it? What did it used to be? 140 characters. Let's just try and
280,
yeah. So then we just went the complete opposite direction. Like, we tried to see if we could do long form, and people wanted it more.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it is funny. Like, I still find myself looking at Twitter, and I will call it that too. And you have to sort of get over the addiction of it and rationally think like, this place is a complete fucking cesspool now.
It's got worse.
Like, got worse. I mean,
Elon
it's
Musk's
just,
Twitter is way worse. Yeah,
I keep getting these fucked sex things at the moment where it's just like
when you search for it and then
and like, you know, when I put incognito on and I go on there, like, but there's this one thing just keeps coming with no followers, no connection, where about Mia Khalifa just keeps coming up. I was like, how is I've not this? All I do is talk about footy on here.
Or what about like you have the replies and then underneath you go like, what do they say, like, to delineate the normal replies from like want to see more.
Yeah.
But then there's that sort of there's like a cabal or it's like an organization of sex bots, particular ones, you know, where it's like you have to reveal the nudity, which like I just wanted to see every time, I'll click it. But you know, what is it? Want to see more, or like I've got a gift for you or something? And I wonder about,
huh?
Yeah, okay, what's that? I'm hooked.
Oh, well, got me right in 3 letters.
It's just funny when there's like some like serious conversation going on about like maybe, you know, overnight the India team lost the under-19s World Cup, you know, and there'll be some fallout, you know, and then you'll read every single reply about like what the issue is or whatever, or Ganguly's done this or something, and then someone will write, huh? You know, like, oh, I wonder what that is, and it's just a naked woman.
It's the first time these things have been right next to each other.
Exactly. It's very jarring.
Thoughtful discourse.
Yeah.
You could be a Jared Waitley tweet, then you're seeing the other side of humanity.
Yeah.
My first experience of seeing you guys, you know, embarrassingly, was you came up in my YouTube algorithm during the Ashes because I'd started looking at Ashes stuff, and then from my experience, and please change the subject, but this is what I find. All good. Is you guys was it Edgbaston? Was that the first test?
Yes.
Beautifully set up with the sponsors and doing the daily, and it was just beautifully put together. And I just wanted to say thank you for that, because I had not seen that in cricket coverage before. But then also, what a cool experience that must have been to go.
Edgbaston was awesome.
It was so awesome. Yeah, we'd been to the UK for the Ashes in 2019. Last time I was in the UK, we were there for the first 2 tests again.
That was a great series as well, wasn't it?
But we weren't set up. We only really started doing YouTube in like 2020.
Yep.
So I think we might have started the channel like 5 or 6 years before then. We never did anything. But anyway, so then we just had, you know, we started to get more kit and better microphones and cameras, and, you know, Charlie doing the editing and production stuff, and it was. But it was just to be there for the game, for the first 2 games as well. So Australia won the first 2 games, which helped.
When you left, it got bad.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of there.
But just to be in and amongst that feeling of the Ashes, because it was such a hype series as well. Probably not since 2005. I reckon there's been more hype for a series.
Really,
it was getting a bit feral.
It was going to be feral,
like a sort of bit of post-Brexit stuff, things like broken Britain gear. Not everybody, you know, but like, and then the baseball phenomenon kind of like it has a certain like zealotry to it, you know, and then the fans feed off it, and then you're at Edgbaston, which like is self-proclaimed a fucking cauldron. Just they're very needy. Like they need everyone to talk about what a cauldron it is, and it's very difficult as an Australian. Like there's still a tweeness to English people. It's still very like quirky and twee. It's not like particularly with cricket. Like football, it gets heavy and you respect it. Cricket, it's like we're all fucking cricket fans. No one here is cool or scary or aggressive. But you're like, we were walking into the ground at Edgbaston before day one, it must have been day one. And there's a Barmy Army guy with an acoustic guitar standing in a fucking phone box, going like with his amp and stuff. As everyone's walking past, going, "Have you ever seen Coadja score a run?" And like, I'm like, is this like this is fucking Galatasaray away? You know what I mean? Like
flares being set off.
Exactly. And he scored 100 that day, which was good. Or it must have been the second day. Sorry. And so it was very satisfying that Australia won, and like even the like in the press box was like getting feral. We were sitting in there, and like you're not really meant to like cheer or support. It's like undignified, but like not without naming names, like it was getting pretty heavy, you know, like guys were appealing, you know, like slamming the
banging the desk and stuff.
Yeah, banging the desk with wickets.
Like people are working in there.
Yeah, it's the gentleman's sport, isn't it?
I mean, I suppose if you're in the crowd, like you obviously want to get into it, but when you're working and like you're wearing like a suit and stuff, and like you're appealing for wickets and stuff, what the fuck's going on?
We toured there in October. It was almost the fallout of the Ashes was the vibe, and the EPL.
You guys are selling out. UK,
the biggest show we ever did. We did 2 days at the Eventim Apollo in London, which was something like 6,500 in a day or something like that.
Holy shit.
We're just telling you sort of how the UK works here.
I hadn't been there since maybe 2017, and like not to get too serious, but that place is going through some fucking shit.
Yeah, exactly.
To be like since Brexit and everything, that like it's like £7 for a coffee. Like just on the very base, like they're all.
Yeah.
It feels like they're all about to snap.
Yeah.
Like it's
trains aren't working and stuff.
Yeah.
You got to say at this point, like heaps of friends in the UK love it.
I think yeah, like
but you could feel it over there. It was charged. There's a charged feeling there. Yeah.
it may have been you guys that said it, but it was a real epiphany led by the commentary around the cricket. But they do genuinely approach sport and fandom in a core different way to us.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like I've seen it go, like following the EPL for the first time, but they really are there for the journey of it as opposed to the winning of it.
Yeah.
Even though the winning is important, it's more about the spiritual. That's the core of the DNA of what's his name walking out of his crease. Like that's. I feel it with following Tottenham as well. Just this weird infatuation with them, and they really just do care about how it looks and and like watching Ange, and that they just enjoy watching that team again.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was AFL, if the team is scoring 10 points a game but they're winning, we're cool. We're completely fine.
Exactly.
With it. Yeah. It's just it's a very almost admirable, I must say. Like,
well, I think as well. Sorry, no culture celebrates others losing more than anyone else. Like, so if their rivals lose, but they also lose, that's fine. But our rivals have lost, and so like that's the celebration of the sport. You know,
that is crazy.
I know what you mean though. They're doing the same thing with baseball at the moment. Like the team is doing well and succeeding, but most of the feedback you get from fans when we're sledging the shit out of it is like we're just happy that we're not shit anymore, and it's kind of good to watch. And so you're right. Like they're just more on board the enjoyment and the general approach of it, you know, like, and you hear a lot of football fans say like, you know, the game is a good day spoiled, you know, like they love going with their mates and like getting on the train and having a beer. Like it's much more transactional in Australia. You know what I mean? Like, did we get the fucking 4 point, you know, did we win or not?
Yeah. No, it's just, I never realized it till recently, but it's fascinating. When are they next year?
2 summers
next
time.
Year. Not this summer, next summer.
2025, I think it is. Yeah.
How good were the Windies? Sorry to talk cricket, but that was awesome. That was awesome.
It was good. Yeah. Are you like are you going to the games now? You going to the MCG?
Yeah, I'm an MCC member, so I feel like even if I don't care about the cricket, I must go.
Yeah.
Do you find footy like funny? This is what I want to know about you because you're like one of the top comedians in Australia, and you know, with a global footprint, as I would say in business. But like, and because we're both from Sydney, we live in Melbourne. You know, I've lived here for like 12 years. I'll never pretend Melbourne's in my DNA. Wow. But like footy, Aussie rules can just get very dribbly. You know, I know we were talking about it earlier. Like, are you dribbly about footy? I know your cast is very funny, the footy, and maybe the satirical kind of reflex just comes in naturally, or do you live and breathe it fucking at a tribal level? I'm
full nuff on it.
Yeah,
it happened. I remember being a teenager and being healthy about football and going, I hope Melbourne win. And then something happened in my brain when I stopped playing sport, at a competitive level. Maybe around 19 when I went to drama school and spent my days in theatre blacks finding water through movement. That something deep inside of me said that I needed to find something a bit more simple and base to become infatuated with. The thing that really hooked me in is my football club Melbourne in about that time were like just the worst team that ever existed financially and on this field, like for about a decade. And something about a bad team is actually more engaging than a good team. I don't know if you find that, like, if like Australians, it's hard with the Australian cricket team because traditionally we're always great, but if you can start to there's one player who's going to change it for us, or when you start to see the growth, that is actually really enjoyable and infatuating. I with my podcast, I don't have to prepare at all. Like, I genuinely am at that level where something about, I feel like a lot of people have this as well, where if you have a job that you care about and work and focus on, the ability to go to something on the side that means literally nothing, but that you can put genuine care and passion and effort into, and you get joy out of it sometimes is really important actually. And if people, like, I have a lot of friends who approach movies and comics in the same way, where it's like, I hope this director's next movie's good and this and that, but it's not as intense. But I feel like everyone has that one thing in their life where they approach it with that side passion.
I'm sorry for non-Aussie rules fans here, but like, where are we at on like Clayton Oliver, like vis-a-vis the D's, and what are we thinking?
He's gonna dominate this year. I'll tell you that much.
What a player went on though.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm serious. Like, what a player when he's on.
Oh, he's. I think we'll see how his career ends, and I think got him on a contract now for another 140 years. But to this point, he could be the best Melbourne player to ever play.
Yeah.
But he's just he's had a rough trot.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping he just genuinely is okay.
Yeah.
What were we talking about just before that? You were saying
I've thrown you with a serious footy question.
Yeah,
haven't
no,
I?
but
About Clayton Oliver.
This is the best part of the year for footy. Everyone is just so excited.
Oh, it's potential.
Oh yeah. No one loses.
No one's lost yet.
Even West Coast, who had one of the worst years of football ever played, they drafted one player. He's been on the back page of the West Australian, genuinely something like 25 times already as the leading article. Like there's optimism for everyone.
Yeah.
And like, why can't we just sit in February forever and never
hope
play
springs
again?
eternal. Yeah.
Cricket can't. Footy is so ubiquitous.
Yeah.
Like, cricket can't get its season started until like nearly Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about like draftees.
It's brutal and it's unfair.
What's his name again? I actually can't. What's the West Coast draftee's name?
Harley Reid.
Harley Reid. Fuck. I mean, honestly, it's like every second comment. Like, in relation, this is like my Harley Reid.
I put down the Optus Stadium attendance partially to that draft because that was like, I think he was drafted. Might have even been fucking December, or like November, December.
Yeah, that's right.
And then so people can't go to the cricket; they got to be reading the West Australian article and see what Harley Reid's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's selfish how much they take of the.
That's Aussie rules.
They want more.
That's AFL, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking monopolistic.
Yeah.
Like, hardcore.
Now, the women's football now goes till December.
Yeah.
So, which is rude.
Yeah.
Wasn't it during the Football World Cup when the Matildas were on their run?
They
did.
Was
it the quarterfinal against England, was it? And then the AFL released the fixtures.
Yeah.
Dirty bastards. They're cheeky bastards.
Dogs.
And we got round zero versus round one now or some shit.
They're doing the round zero because the NRL are going to Vegas.
Yeah.
Because NRL's going to take over the US. Did you know that?
Yeah, apparently.
But then they've got this round where there's going to be heaps of sport in Queensland and New South Wales. But the rugby's back then. Like, NRL's going like next week, I think. So it's this weird thing. The weird competitiveness. I mean,
who's out there going like surely your like flag is nailed to the mast or colours? Is it what is it? Colours to the mast. Like who is the casual fan who's like, look, I wonder what sport I'm going to, like what footy code I'm going to watch this year. Oh, the NRL's in Vegas, so that's actually opened up my chances to go to the Aussie rules this weekend.
I like Vegas. I like the idea of Vegas. I
Me
enjoyed the
too.
Hangover series.
But the Code War chat is so tedious.
Yeah.
You know, like the war over those who don't give a fuck about sport. I've already decided. You know,
it is. I mean, I think, funnily enough, like the footy season was fantastic last year, but that run of cricket stories last year, like by the time it got here, it was kind of over. By the time it actually got back to home soil, that run was as enthralling as I've ever seen.
Totally right. Yeah, I think that one thing the footy codes can't quite get, they get close to what I think, but like the feeling of the Ashes for Australians. I know, like for India, because they don't get to play against Pakistan unless it's in World Cups. So they don't get a Test series. Like, so Australia, I think maybe becomes like their biggest Test series, but it's Australia and India is never going to be the biggest series for us because how deeply we feel the colonial rivalry of the Ashes, and like, you know, we can relatively easily, you know, live in different in both the countries. So we have friends and family here and there, and so we're such similar people. I mean, there's been no evolution, but by the time Captain Cook landed on the shores, and now, so like we are basically the same people, but we fucking hate each other. But we have such kinship.
Yes.
So it's wrapped up in like this turmoil within, and so when a guy like walks out of his crease, he's fucking out, and it's like, no, you're cheating convicts.
Yeah,
that's right. Your ancestors are in jail. You know what I mean? And that's why they were sent out there, because of the shit you do
and
now.
look what you're doing. Yeah,
it runs in the family.
Oh, that's didn't that hitter called the same old Aussies? That was clever branding and clever marketing.
Yeah,
because that that hit that nerve so deeply and so effectively.
But they do roll it out. Like, that's just a common football chant, you know, let's say about Arsenal. Like, it just says, same old, you know, like, but they've just got a great, like, portfolio of things to say. And we've got fucking nothing.
They're cerebral. They're a cerebral assassin.
Yeah, that's right.
I would love, and I know there's talk of it, but I think the fucking best thing for Australian cricket would be to see that India-Pakistan at the MCG.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
For a test series.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that just be incredible?
We saw the
sick,
T20 World Cup, and it was very hot. It was hot shit. Very different vibe. No one in the bars, like, and people watching and like living off every ball.
Yeah.
Very
Actually,
good.
watching the cricket, yeah.
It's very good gear.
I worked at Wave Aid in
Yeah, fuck yeah.
in,
Now we're
like
talking.
2000, or maybe there was a floods and fire one.
Okay, yeah.
And we're
So
talking.
there was a natural disaster in Australia.
And we did one of them charity things. And we're talking John Butler.
Yeah.
We're talking Kings of Leon.
Yes.
We're
Hell yeah.
talking Midnight Oil.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, and they were flying in between gigs like that one day. It was one at
right.
SCG, one at MCG.
That's right.
And it was, I'm talking bigger than that for India, Pakistan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's no Kings of Leon need to be there.
Exactly.
That was a fucked up day though. That day, I'm just remembering it now. It was brutal.
Yeah.
Just Taylor Swift is this week as well. If I was working at the MCG this week, it would be a very full on fucking week. It's going to go off.
Yeah.
But she's at Super Bowl now, right?
Literally right now. Yeah.
She was in Tokyo yesterday. Weird to know how much we know about Taylor Swift's
Why?
carbon footprint.
The week that I was in New York and we just started our US tour. There was in October last year, without going into details, a lot of shit was going on around the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
All they fucking wanted to talk about was Kelsey and Swift.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And like this week, apparently The Rock taking the WrestleMania headline was like #1 leading on the news. Love a bit of drama there.
Fucking hell. Dude, what about having a fucking billboard? Auntie Donna billboard in Times Square.
yeah.
Oh,
Fucking hell, that's dreams, man.
Yeah.
Like, congratulations.
That was very nice.
When was that?
That was 2020. So it was during
2020.
COVID. We had friends go and see it in person for us. But
Oh,
yeah,
man.
that was very, very cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's something. It's one of those things. You know how like particularly in entertainment or performance or whatever. It's very hard to mark moments and like you're always working for growth and what's success and what isn't success. And that's one thing I was like, I'll always have that.
Yeah, that's
even if
right.
everything falls apart for me, we had that cool thing. We're in Times Square. It's like. I just remembered when we were there doing the shows, I went to an NFL game out in Giant Stadium. On the way back, I got an Uber. And the whole way back, cricket chat. It's taken off over there. Genuinely.
Yeah, we're going.
Oh, is it the World
The
Cup?
World Cup's there.
Yeah. And where is it going to be?
There's 3 places in the US for the first half of the tournament. They're building a cricket stadium right now in New York on Long Island.
Building a cricket stadium.
Yeah, like purpose built. And then
45,000
there's
people,
Fort Lauderdale in Miami and Dallas. So there's 3 places. And then the Caribbean is the rest. Australia doesn't do the US leg, but amazingly, India and Pakistan have been drawn in the same group again for the World Cup, and they're playing in New York at this stadium. So
that will actually be scary how successful that is. And
yeah,
just
man.
quietly, that's great for AFL as well because we've built our oval to be a cricket.
I'm sure the AFL will capitalise in some way. The India Pakistan in New York.
Yeah,
that's right.
They'll have Session to talk or something with a Sharon in Long Island.
That's right. That's my favourite SEN category is actually like when they were doing brackets of the greatest athlete of all time, and I think it got down to the final Muhammad Ali versus Steven Silvani. But it was tight.
Do you think we're insulated here?
I don't know. I don't think so. It's just a great
There's an
game.
insulation issue.
Yeah.
Oh man. I think it's going to take off in America very gradually but surely. Like it's very, very exciting.
Cricket,
Yeah.
But by the same token, I think there's a lot of cricketers who want to make it in America and think that it will, and like not really across the fact that sport is very established in America, and they really, really like don't care for anything English.
I mean, they like pickleball. They're big on pickleball.
Yeah,
at the
that's
moment.
right. That could take off.
Yeah.
Just finally, got to let you go because I know you got a busy day.
No,
you're also like a model now as well. You're a prolific man.
Do you know-
On a Queensland Football Club. No,
Yes.
I watch this from afar, and I
Ken.
know Ken's work on Twitter
Yeah.
as well. And I've
He's another Twitter guy.
yeah, but this is awesome. Like I saw these pictures of you, and you look fucking great.
Yeah, so Ken-
arms looking good too, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, no,
and that
people
looks
get-
looks like a good t-shirt as
This
well.
is AS Basic.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
it's
really?
heavy.
Oh,
I've
you're
gone
able to
the-
roll it.
I've gone the heavy.
Yeah.
The light ones. I'm not gonna wash them. I don't know. You know when you have a shirt, you got like one wash on a white shirt.
Yeah.
I hate that, and the collar goes.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to not wash it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many times I've washed this. But yes, Ken was a Twitter guy. He was making during COVID. He started talking about how he was going to play for Gold Coast. He made some merch of Gold Coast with himself on it. They sent him a cease and desist. So he
Yeah.
built his own because he was bored. He's a hip surgeon as well.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
guy.
Assistant hip surgeon.
Incredibly handsome guy as well.
Yeah.
He's doing fine.
Yeah,
Don't
he's a
worry about it.
polymath. You can tell he's an extremely bright man.
Yeah.
Can we start a GoFundMe for Ken?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that'd be nice. He needs. And so he started his own fashion brand and then started to make it high end and go and get artisan Japanese fabric for these shirts all built around this football club, and it's just absolutely blown up. But he got me because he was like, I said this to him, and then he kind of didn't deny it. He was like, I was like, if you make me look good, then like all the other loser cunts in Australia are going to think that they can look good. And he's like, oh, I never thought of it that way. I was like, bullshit. Yeah. So he says, no, it's like the billboard. I can now have nice photos of me until the day
you
I
look
die.
good.
Yeah, no. He can. That's the thing, right? You think models are beautiful?
Yeah.
Nah. It's like all you need is a really good photographer. You need good lighting, and you need like someone whose job it is to go like hand in your pocket, look that way, lower your shoulder, turn that, and then all of a sudden you do look good.
Yeah.
Like if you were doing a launch for the cricket or whatever, you could get you could look great. Not that you don't now, but you know, it could happen.
It could happen. It could
Some
happen
of
for
us need more help than others, but it's good kit though. Queensland Football Club, isn't it? It's
Yeah, very good,
kit.
very good, very very high end.
He's
and
selling
nice.
out. I used to live on the street that he's selling out of anyway, incidentally.
In West Melbourne.
Yeah.
That's there's nothing going on there.
It actually smells really bad as well because one of the factories across the road, but that's got nothing, like that
close
has
to-
no imposition on the fashion itself.
It's industrial Footscray area almost.
Yes,
But then it's
that's
almost North Melbourne is the area that time forgot. To get
Yeah.
into Melbourne, like there's like I guess what engineering wise, it's this pocket where there's no thoroughfare through it. So it's neither trendy
Yep.
nor interesting, but it's 4 meters from
Calls
the city.
itself North Melbourne, it really is West Melbourne
Yeah,
as well.
exactly,
Get-
yeah.
See, look
Bizarre
what happens with
little-
Melbourne. You just get real insular with that chat.
What do you think that because Melbourne cares about Sydney,
Yeah,
Sydney doesn't care about Melbourne
correct.
at all. What does Sydney think of Melbourne? Just some nice people down south.
Great to visit.
Yeah. Why is Melbourne inferior? Why do we have an inferiority complex to Sydney?
I don't know.
Melbourne's such a good city, but I think when people think internationally, people
Exactly.
think of Australia, they think
It's
of
because Sydney
probably.
doesn't pay attention to it. Really, it's like Melbourne has some good stuff going for it, but
That comes out of inferiority complex, doesn't it? It's like, well, we don't have that fucking harbour.
Yeah.
So let's make the best coffee in the world and
Yeah.
let's do this.
Yeah.
We're trying to prove ourselves really hard.
I think Sydney ciders are very, very wrapped up in its own place. You know, in Sydney,
there's heaps of cunts
and it's
there.
not like it's greatest per capita cunt city.
Yeah.
for sure.
Well,
Very
if you don't have to
unfriendly.
work on yourself, like just go to the beach and have a nice time, then why wouldn't you? Why
You
would
don't have to think about other stuff. Yeah, really.
To go back to England very quickly, everyone's London, this, London, that.
Right.
I went to Manchester.
it's
all
Yeah,
about
great city.
Manchester.
Great city.
Oh my God.
Great city.
Beautiful.
Great
nice.
nightlife.
Yeah.
You go there in the summer, can be really nice as well. Obviously, winter's tough, but people very northern hospitality,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
friendly.
North south stuff in UK is good. Like northern people, as you're saying.
Yep.
It's good.
We had a sketch in our show that we did all around the world where it would be like, hey guys, we usually do a sketch here, but we cut it for this city because we didn't think it would go down great here. And then the crowd go, no, do it. I mean, all right. And then we walk on and it's 5 minutes of just railing the city that we're in. And so like for Melbourne, it's like you think you're great, but you're shit. And like,
Yeah.
It's like just really railing on them. Every city in the world we did it in was like, yeah, we suck, awful. One city in the entire world got genuinely offended. Can you guess which one didn't have a sense of humor about itself?
Melbourne.
No, Melbourne's all right.
Really?
And we went hard. We had deep cuts for Melbourne.
Yeah.
But like the one city in the world, Perth.
Yeah, okay.
Perth, really? Yeah.
They did it. They're like, hey, this is Perth.
Yeah.
But we were doing stuff like you claim that you got nice beaches and restaurants, but you're just racist South Africans. They didn't care for that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the isolationist movement is a real
it's
thing.
great.
A real thing over there.
Oh,
I yelled out Kerry Stokes over there at our show a couple of weeks ago, and he got a cheer. You know what I mean, for owning the media.
He's our great leader with
Yeah,
Basil.
Twiggy Forrest. Yeah, it's all good.
That's right.
The suggestion that they didn't have many people go to the cricket was that was war.
Yeah.
That was secession or whatever.
Well, it was Eastern people telling Western people about what's happening in their city. It's like, shut the fuck up about what's happening in our town. You know?
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Shout out Josh Garlett from Kick It Forward.
Great
Hey,
guy.
introduce us, and he's a mad dog as well. So you and him are like two of the only funny people in footy for me, which is good. That's better than what it used to be.
Brian Taylor's good.
Oh, you BT, of course.
Yeah. We did a thing we had a guy from Canberra who obviously, works in Canberra, and he did a lot of he started doing, which would be good for cricket too. He did stats for the game on the commentators and their biases to either team.
Oh,
so
sick.
he would go through and say, Brian
would
Taylor
do
in this
that.
game.
Yeah.
He was complimentary to Collingwood 15 times, to Brisbane 8 times, negative to Brisbane. And like you saw
That's so
clear statistical biases.
Yeah.
Which it was taking that when you're watching a game, getting annoyed that they're not supporting a team and like putting it into literal data.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
I'd love to come back to this. I know you got to go. The funny thing with like league in Sydney and Queensland and Brisbane is that like I think in New South Wales it's a state like built on like gambling and alcohol. It literally is built on and corruption. And I think a lot of that like and prostitution and general nefarious activity.
Yeah.
And I think that
Alan Jones.
it bleeds into the game and develops its own like kind of coarse humor that goes with it. Whereas like I think maybe here in Melbourne there's a bit more like old money or conservatism, and it just like there's just less opportunity for humor to come through with it.
I think there's something to be said as well, but at its core, AFL is a cricket sport. It wouldn't exist without cricket.
Yes.
It is cardio for when the cricket's off.
Yes.
That is why it exists.
That's why it exists, right,
It plays at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. It was created by the Melbourne Cricket Club, basically. The Melbourne Football Club are a subsidiary of the cricket club. Even though it's the disgusting sort of junk food version of cricket, in that like it's quick, it's now, it's hard, it's hit, it's everything that cricket's not. But they are intrinsically linked, like DNA. Like the tiger and the lion initially were the same thing at one point and divided. That's my hot philosophical theory.
On that note, Broden Kelly, thanks for joining us.
Yes. Max Walker is the core of this. This is a Max Walker competition. The footy and the cricket.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah. Weird way to end it, but thank you for having me.
Do you want to do away days?
I certainly do, mate. People last week gutted to learn that away days may have been coming to its final integration. That was the language from everybody who wrote in.
Good news. Good news then.
We have been backed by Mitsubishi Pajero Sport,
Pajero Sport.
I want to say, who are getting behind like punters' stories about their away days in cricket and the adventure therein of the away days.
It's captured the minds and the hearts.
Now, look, I have been going on a little bit with, not just in this show, but with the away days section. So this one's a quicker one.
Okay.
Now, I just got to double check this isn't asking for any anonymity. No, it's not. Sam Cook. And it's just simply, I like this, it's simply titled Pajero Away Days.
Beautiful. Now, just add Pajero Sport, to be fair. Let's make that clear.
That's part of the deliverable.
Yeah.
So, Sam, next time.
Yeah. When you think about deliverables for the show, just make sure you get the language right about Pajero Sport.
That's right. As we lean on your content for this integration,
that's right.
Just it's Pajero Sport Away Days.
Just to get the impressions right. So, yeah.
And the adventure therein. You would like it to have a sort of a lawyerly feel to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sam Cook writes in, Pajero, Sport, Away Days.
Got it.
After a solid couple of years in my club's junior setup, I was thrilled with a call-up to the threes and was blessed with the gloves on debut.
Okay.
It was a tricky tie against an unbeaten top of the league, who are far too much for our mixture of lads and dads. Lads and dads. Mm-hmm. My dad had decided to cycle the 70 kilometres and turned up just as I was heading out to the middle. He witnessed one filthy hack across the line and my middle stump pegged back.
God.
As I walked off dejected, I looked up to see my dad shake his head, hop back on his bike, and cycle home without saying a word. Thankfully, he didn't see my equally ropey keeping performance, so I was able to lie through my teeth that my glove work made up for my questionable shot selection first ball up. A big thank you to the 3 skipper who gave me a lift home in a Pajero Sport and said that my dad probably had to get back to work. Cheers, lads. Sam.
Dad hasn't worked in 7 years.
I want to know how young this Sam guy was if, like, the skipper is talking to him like he really is a child.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, no, Dad probably had to work, mate. Yeah,
And
yeah,
got
no,
a- got a
he's
lift home.
He's coming home. Yeah.
You've got to lift home so you can't
Was he meant to
drive.
go on the back of his bike? That wouldn't have sort of qualified for Pajero Sport.
Also, Sam, cool your jets with that because, you know, like your dad has literally come to watch you play. And it's, it's not his fault. You're
70
dog shit.
Ks. He's probably getting fit, to be honest. It's you know what I mean? It's somewhere to go. His dad's on his 70 Ks. His dad's on his bike thinking about his life.
Yeah.
Isn't he?
Yeah. He's thinking, how far can I really cycle away from that
Indeed.
fucking hellhole of a house? that
Sam,
I'm
he didn't know where you were playing. It was a total coincidence. He wanted to do a 140K round trip. Yours just happened to be right there. He couldn't get out of there quick enough.
He's also not your real dad.
Thanks to Pajero Sport. Adventurous away days. Please send yours in. Pajero Sport away days. They've been backing us deluxe this summer. And I've got to say, yeah, like a lot of sad, dark stories coming in, but with the the motif of wheels.
Wheels.
You know, it can't be done without wheels.
India and England have been embroiled in a test series.
Yeah.
Pez, and we're up to the 3rd test, which is starting at the end of this week. In fact, it's on Thursday. And it's in Rajkot, that one. So the first 2 tests have been played. It's obviously 1-1. Fans of the cricket will remember. So here's some squad news coming up. So Shreyas Iyer has been left out of India's squad for the remaining 3 tests against England. Jadeja and KL Rahul are part of the 17-man squad.
So they've done is it a 3-test squad?
I think it's a 3-test squad, yeah. But the availability of Jadeja and KL Rahul is still subject to clearance from fitness from the medical team from the BCCI. So both had missed the 2nd test, obviously. Jadeja has a hamstring. He's got a string. People remember that from the run-out with Stokes.
He comes back for the 3rd test with a string. That's a very quick turnaround.
Yeah. KL Rahul's got the quad niggle. So Akash Deep has got his maiden test call-up, and obviously Virat Kohli continues to be unavailable because of personal reasons. Now, we said last week, actually, Pezza, like that AB de Villiers had made some comments on his YouTube channel. Now,
I'm making a couple of comments these days.
yeah, a 6 should be a 9.
Yeah.
That was one of the all-time great exchanges with Kevin Peterson. Anyway, so this is via Times of India. Former South African cricket sensation AB de Villiers has found himself at the centre of a storm after inadvertently spreading misinformation regarding the absence of Indian cricket stalwart Virat Kohli from the ongoing England Test series. De Villiers, known for his camaraderie with Kohli both on and off the field, expressed regret over his earlier statement acknowledging that he had shared false information about Kohli's personal life. Absolutely, family comes first. It's a priority, as I said on my YouTube show. Also, I made a terrible mistake at the same time, and yeah, sharing false information, which was not true at all. No one knows what's happening. That's all I can do is wish him well, de Villiers told Dainik Bhaskar in an exclusive interview. Initially, de Villiers had suggested that Kohli and his wife, Anushka Sharma, were anticipating their 2nd child, linking Kohli's absence from the initial matches of the England series to family commitments. So now
Very
he said,
specific piece of misinformation.
I was like, no, I made that up.
It's just not true at all.
What? What's going on with AB? Hell of a player.
It is one of it always did, like, it struck one as a like a odd thing to say, and also to link to missing out on test matches, and then that just spawns unnecessary speculation.
Yeah.
When basically everybody else is, if anyone knows about what's going on, which we don't, has correctly just said nothing.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously just got a little tap on the shoulder. Yeah, you'll be walking that back, mate.
For England, Jack Leach has been ruled out of the rest of the series to recover from a knee injury. He damaged his left knee fielding on the opening day in the Hyderabad test when he was diving to stop a boundary. He then exacerbated that injury on the 2nd morning. So the extent of the swelling on his knee was meant he was unable to move freely, restricting him to a maximum of 4 over spells for the remainder of the test. No Leach. Still no word on Harry Brook, of course, who was also home for personal reasons. So injuries deluxe in that test series, and you just feel like, okay, Leach is a miss, no question about that for England. But India without, at the moment, Jadeja, Kohli, KL Rahul.
Massive.
And there was talk as well about Bumrah not playing the last 2 test matches. So I think he is going to play the 3rd test, but he may be rested for the last 2 test matches. England may not get a better chance for a little while anyway to wrestle the series in their favour. I mean, obviously they won the first test match incredibly and heroically. India too good in the second test match, but they are in with a sniff here, England. I mean, it's a great chance.
1-1, India with hugely influential players out injured. England with one of the great wins following like India dominance in the game. England are already exceeding what anybody expected like them to do, and exceeding what anyone has really done in 7 or 8 years there in India. I mean, I think the last time a team was knee deep in the series was Australia in 2017, I want to say. And even then, it was an early win in the series with Sock taking 12 for 70, Steve Smith 100, Pune, unbelievable stuff.
That's right.
And then, you dust up the decks, spin a web, see you later, which, as is their want. But it's not as simple as that for the Indian team. Firstly, missing Jadeja. Secondly, missing Kohli. Thirdly, the nature of the way England plays cricket doesn't militate towards, just dusting it up and seeing what you can do. So I got to say, like, England are far deeper into the series than we had expected, and they'll let you know, but it is true. So fair play to them. But then again, they were 1-0 up in the last series as well.
Yeah, they were.
So,
yeah.
But still, India do not feel as strong a team as they were a few years ago. In that series.
Certainly, yeah. So TJC is obviously covering the India-England series. You can get around that on YouTube or on wherever you're listening to this right now. TJC is brought to you this week by NordVPN. You can go to nordvpn.com/TGC to get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan plus 4 months for free. It's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Pezzo, I'm going to read you about saving money. NordVPN helps me save money as well as protect me from cybercrime. I can change my virtual location and sign up for subscription services via other countries and pay a cheaper price. For example, you can sign up to Netflix whilst virtually being in Mexico, which is much cheaper than the US or the UK. Also, I can book flights and holidays via another country and pay less. So NordVPN essentially pays for itself with those savings. NordVPN.com/TGC. Huge discount, NordVPN plan plus 4 months for free. The South Africa series with the women in Australia here, Pezza, the multi-format series. Now, Australia have clinched the ODI series. They also won the T20 series, but they've lost 2 games out of 6, Pezza, and I want to know why. Here's what Captain Elisa Healy said. It's plain and simple.
Who can throw to a package?
Package. Yeah. It's plain and simple, she said. You can't afford to be sloppy and not adapt as quickly as we needed to, Healy said. We've proven that over the summer, that when we've let ourselves down, even a little bit, in all 3 facets, we're getting punished. Tomorrow's a great opportunity. That's before this game. That was last night it was 2 nights ago at North Sydney Oval. Great opportunity to come out here and be really clinical and perform the way we know that we can, which obviously they did because they won the game by about 110 runs. She said, we're still a really good cricket side. We showed in Adelaide how good we can be. Just got to turn up tomorrow and do the same thing, then do it repeatedly for long periods of time. She continued and said, this was a period of time where cricket was really challenging for this group. We've had a lot of success over the last 5 or 6 years, yes, but there's been plenty of times within that this group has been challenged. So, I keep saying this, but Elise Healy said it best when she said that people only really care when they lose. 2 games out of 6, it was a tough Ashes as well. Obviously, they ended up retaining the Ashes, but lost 2 of the series in the obviously won the Test match, but then lost the ODI series and lost the T20 series. Is that right? So is this down to No Meg Lanning? Is that what we're looking at? Is that down
it's
to
a
missing
joke.
one of the greatest players of all time?
Healy's completely right. I mean, they're coming from the highest height possible. They win everything all the time.
Yep.
And now they don't win every single thing all the time. They just win fucking heaps of things.
Yeah, just win
most
series.
of the time.
Yeah.
And they just lost one of the greatest players ever in Meg Lanning. And now other teams are starting to catch up. I mean, frankly, like other teams, we're waiting. Like it's just probability. It's going to happen. Like we don't need to.
Aww.
Yeah, can we just win forever?
I don't like that.
Dad. Or like more private school voice.
Yeah.
Dad. They've got South Africa in a test later this week.
Wacker,
The Wacker. Australia leads the multi-format series 8-4. South Africa cannot defeat that, but they can tie it up, I guess, and say some stuff. But I don't know. I mean, still an extremely good side for Australia. It's not as strong without Meg Lanning in it. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. That's huge. But I did watch. I watched a bit of the last game at North Sydney Oval. Alana King, unbelievable.
Best ever figures, 4 for 26.
Hell of a play. Just missed out on a hat trick.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah. And Australia's done this a few times. I feel without being able to back up with hard data. But when they do lose, they do have that champion quality of like, we're going to fucking
pump.
Yeah, we're going to smash you next game.
Yeah.
Those things will happen. If they started losing now, and didn't win World Cups and stuff, obviously effigies and all that kind of stuff,
Right,
and
of course,
submissions
of
and
course.
royal commissions
Yes,
and all that
royal
sort
commissions.
of thing.
Yeah.
Argus reports, whatever. Like a hurricane, but it needs a new name.
Yep.
But I would just be grateful for what it has been. But instead, they continue to win, and we'll just wait until they do something wrong, and we'll get upset. So that's the transaction.
Good. Okay. South Africa also have a chance to level the series in New Zealand, the test series there. Here's what happened in the first test. New Zealand batted first and scored 511. Ratchin Ravinja scored 240. Kane Williamson hit his 30th 100. South Africa were then out for 162. New Zealand then hit 179 for 4, declared. That was a lead of 528. Kane Williamson hit his 31st test century. Then South Africa were out for 247. So New Zealand won the game by 281 runs.
AI.
Here's what South African coach Shukri Conrad said in relation to that loss. A few of them would have taken a knock in terms of the harsh realities of that test cricket brings and possibly how far away they still are. Many feel that they're closer to the test side than they currently are, he said.
Oh, that's fucking harsh.
You go through a few days like they have been through, and that's a jolt and a wake-up call. Man, I said this last week, and it's possibly the most, it'd be the most painful thing to hear because of the condescension in it. But, I feel sorry for those guys who they are good cricketers. But, when you put, 7 of them playing for the first time against a very good New Zealand side who's playing at home, you're going to get pumped, and everyone knows you're going to get pumped. But, I feel sorry for them. The coach is yeah, you guys aren't really that close to the death side. Fuck.
I mean, I don't know Shukri Conrad, but he hasn't played Test cricket either. You know what I mean? So at least they can respond with how many fucking tests have you played.
Yeah.
That is, people are forgetting one of those upsides of what's happened here. Okay, maybe you can say it cheapens Test cricket altogether because it's 3s. But these guys can still say for the rest of their lives how many fucking tests have you played.
That's true.
So, I don't know. I feel like it's, talk about kicking a dog when it's down. You get the result that everyone expects to get when you play 3s and then you play against a good New Zealand test side away from home. They beat you as is expected. Then you go, you are nowhere near test cricket, mate. It's yeah, I know. It just dogs being kicked.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that second test match starts, I don't have it in front of me, soon.
Fucking oath it does. Got to be soon because Australia's starting soon there. They got to get it done.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they'll get it done. Hashtag AskTGC. Do you want to read it, Pez?
Okay. From James. James says, shadow bowling in the gym. Thoughts? Boys, bit of backstory for you. I'm getting married in August and decided in November that something needed to be done about the old double triple chin situation. Unlike Higgins, I've always fucking hated the gym. However, I'm enjoying it, and I know as a former swimmer and rower, I know there's a rig in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Now on to the main point. I hope that's got nothing to do with the question. So there I am, happily on the pull-down machine when I notice a flash of colour out of the corner of my eye. The gym isn't busy, so I'm confused what it can be. It came from the area between Muscle Beach and the pull-up area. There's 3 people there. Has one of them fallen off the pull-up bar? Try not to make it obvious that I'm looking. I pause before my next set. Then I see it. Have I seen it correctly? Have my eyes deceived me? Doth mine eyes deceived me? That's it. No, there it is again. Some pricks shadow bowling in the gym. In Muscle Beach, of all places. What's this guy doing? Aghast, I continue to watch as he walks the full length of the gym, shadow bowling the whole way. What the fuck is this bloke doing? I continue with my own business, but can't help noticing continue to shadow bowl. He then progresses on to work on his follow-through. If you don't play cricket, then he just looks like a bloke stepping forward and slamming a medicine ball into the ground as hard as he can. So, hang on. I'm pausing here. He then progresses to work on his follow-through. If you don't play cricket, then he just looks like he's a bloke stepping forward and slamming a medicine ball. So the medicine ball slam is the follow-through? Is that what we're saying? Or is that the completion of the action?
I feel like what's happening is he's got a medicine ball.
Yeah.
He's then like shadow bowling onto the ground and then doing a follow-through. And then he's like trotting a few paces down. That's what I've got in my head.
So the medicine ball is the cricket ball.
Right.
But he's shadow bowling at this point. So shadow bowling, I presume, is just he's got no like sort of what would you call it, like apparatus with him, device, thing, exercise equipment. But we're saying he's got a medicine ball and he's bowling it with 2 hands.
Yeah.
And then following through as this is. So let's keep reading. Perhaps it'll
reveal itself. More people are now looking at him, wondering what the fuck he's doing. Should I congratulate him for not giving a fuck and just cracking on? Or do I continue to mentally judge him for standing out so much? Anyway, like anything, the more often you go somewhere, the more you notice the same people. It wouldn't be that difficult to notice the shadow bowler, quote unquote. However, I've seen him loads recently. Always shadow bowling. Always slamming his medicine ball, brackets only the 2 kilogram one though. Always working on his landing leg. Now, the nice part of me should say he might be recovering from an injury. Fair play to him, working hard to recover. Unfortunately and predictably, because I've played this shit sport for over 20 years, I don't think like that. Instead, I instantly WhatsApp the cricket group chat. Wouldn't suit our club. Bet he's shit. Bell end. Not PCC material. Come back, so my instincts are confirmed. This bloke is a twat. All the usual and predictable questions are raised. He's 5'8" at best, so he can't bowl serious wheels. Should I tell this bloke to quit and work on chest and pipes? They need work, and no one will respect his lack of pace and height. Is his action sloppy? His action is sloppy, and he falls away. Do I side mouth him with his feedback? Now we're talking. Do I shadow bat back to him? I'd probably get bowled, so he'd be the alpha in this situation then. He looks about 19, 20. Do I give him the life lesson no one gave me, and tell him to get the hell out of this sport that kills your hopes and dreams? That even though you might have had have had junior success, man of the match in under 17 county final with match winning 2 for 7 and 50 not out, 42 red, it counts for fuck all. You'll only have the occasional one day out in cricket. Ever. He repeats ever. Why does this sport make me think like this? What is wrong with me? Why do I think writing to you two will make it better? Yeah. Who's the alpha? This young pup who clearly wants to better himself, or me who just can't let go despite an average of less than 10 and only being able to get a bowl when the opposition has 300 plus and everyone has lost hope. Cheers, James. P.S. He's moved up to the 4 kilogram medicine ball now. James, I think you're scared. Like we're talking today about some of these young roosters that are in the Australian setup, and you just think like they're just pregnant with possibility. What could it become? Now, James has already gone through.
Pregnant.
He's gone through the harshness of the cold realities of what cricket does to you and your brain, let alone your life, socially, financially,
spiritually, religiously, historically.
So, and he sees this young buck in the gym. And he's thinking, this guy's trying to be a good cricketer. Now, I'm looking at his action. It probably doesn't look that good, but what if he is better than me? And then he'll be in the gym with a guy who's a better cricketer than him. Now, that's going to really hurt. Now, in terms of the actual action itself, it seems to me like what he's doing is functional for bowling. I've got no idea about how to train for fast bowling, but I would imagine it's something to do with the intercostals is what he's doing. If he's like picking a ball and like throwing it down the ground in the same way that like you see.
What's intercostals?
Like
I know what it is, just for the benefit of the listener, the viewer.
It's like muscles in like your ribs connecting to your chest.
Intercostals.
Yeah.
You want to get out of that quickly? Let's keep going, yeah?
Intercostals. So, like, you know, in the same way that like a baseballer, you see them like next into bat might have like 2 bats, or like they put like a weight onto the bat, so then the bat moves faster when you actually just use 1 bat, therefore increasing bat speed, etc., etc. Golfers sometimes do it as well with 2 clubs, like warming up. So then it feels lighter when you just use the 1 club in the actual game situation. So like if he's shadow bowling and he's like getting through that motion of bowling with a now 4 kilogram medicine ball, I presume
Presumably he's holding it with 2 hands though. Wouldn't you say? Or 2 kilo? Like you reckon it's coming through in one? You reckon he's palming a 2 kilogram medicine ball?
No, if he is,
because if he is, he's in the wrong sport.
It's Spencer Johnson. So it seems to me like what I'm saying is like the action itself seems functional to me.
Really?
But if he's bowling it and then jogging afterwards, that seems odd to me.
Would you hazard a guess about whether this action that this man is working on, practicing, executing in the gym, like is something that has been, handed down to him from a biomechanical specialist?
Or it could be injured. It could just be from a physio.
But it's like, if what you say is right and it's just functional, he's just using heavier weights for the actions of the sport.
Right.
Why don't we see guys in gyms playing forward defenses with a 10 kilogram medicine ball?
with a 10 kilogram barbell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
just working off your pads.
Or actually get
that's a fucking good idea.
The 25 kilo barbell.
All of a sudden,
playing pull shots.
This guy's in 4s with fucking Popeye-like forearms.
It's the great advances in sports science that haven't been worked out yet. Like, have these guys in the Aussie team, are they in the gym with a 35 kilo barbell just playing shots? You know what I mean?
Maybe that'd work. Like you have to train for your sport that you're in.
Yeah.
Train to play.
Interesting. Standing the slips, yeah.
Maybe James and us have come together to be revolutionaries in the training field.
You can't tell me though. Like I know you would have a very correctly like progressive approach to the things people want to do in a gym. You're not going to judge them. That's very low level to be like, well, the fuck you doing there? You know, that sort of shit. Right. I'm talking, Joey Swole and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But you can't be telling me that if you were at the gym and there was this little space and someone had a medicine ball
at Muscle Beach,
bowling and then doing a follow through, that you are not fucking snapping your neck at that and looking at the corner of your eye about what's this. Like you're not going like, hey, actually probably quite functional for the intercostals. Like you're not thinking that.
Yeah, you're right. I'd be on the WhatsApp group. Fuck this shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like you'd be fucking clandestine taking photos. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then he's filming, going like, "Oh, everyone just won't stop looking at me." You know what I mean? Send it into Joey Swole.
Yeah, it's because you're palming a 4 kilo medicine ball. I'm having a look at that.
That's right.
Like you got one of those fucking foam fingers at an American sports game.
But maybe that's what this guy should do. Like the guy's using a medicine ball to functionally practice his bowling and his follow through. You go and get the barbell, and probably the curved one. Wherever whatever.
With the easy bar.
Yeah, you get the easy bar. You go stand at the other end and just sort of start playing some shots. Nick off, obviously.
Center.
Yeah, that's right.
Two thanks, Tuck.
That's right. Yeah, interesting. Something to think about.
Thanks as always for joining us here on TGC. Hope you enjoyed our chat with Broden whenever that appeared in the show. But it was fun. It was fun to do yet another crossover. So next time we'll be on the internet will be after the day's play for India and England, that test match, the third test match there. And of course, if you want to join us and join our Patreon community, you want to become a member of TGC or a shareholder indeed, as we've been calling them the last few weeks, patreon.com/Great Cricketer, where once again the live chat has been popping off anytime anything is happening in the world of cricket. So if you want to join that community, you can find us there. Thanks as always for joining us, for listening, for watching and consuming, and indeed for being a good little customer. We'll see you guys on the internet real soon. Cheers.